Rob and Akiva need a podcast, and they need your help. Can you make it onto the wheel? Rob and Akiva need a podcast. Yeah, they'll buy or sell your ideas. They'll talk about it till you've got it, you bill. Every weekend, you better attend. You can guess what will be coming up next. Rob and Akiva need a podcast.
Yes, that's right. Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast is back. Episode number 189 here today as we play Claim to Fame. And now here is a man whose claims to fame includes hosting 3.5 podcasts, having a wet jumper, and much more. Please welcome in the great Akiva Wienerkur.
Yeah, I thought you were going to. Yeah, I guess those are my claims to fame. 3.5 podcasts, wet jumper. That should be my.
What would you say? What is your
tombstone.
claim to fame?
That should be my tombstone.
Son of Rabbi Wienerkur.
Okay, fine, fair. That's a good one.
What else?
I got a lot of kids. That's good. Mara's husband.
Mara's husband. Yes.
I got recognized at the airport once by a listener.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
It sounds like, according to you, that Noam is on his way to being like a mogul. So
yeah, that's possible. That's true. I could be Noam's dad. Yosef could be like I don't know, like maybe a professional UFC fighter or something. That could be famous.
Oh my God.
He's like a big he like these kids like the Rough House. I don't know.
Yeah. Is that what you're going for? Are you having like
it wasn't like my plan A, but at this point I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know. I feel like too many hits to the head already, maybe for like to be a scholar.
Yeah. Okay. And we are coming off of a week where we were today years old when we learned a bunch of facts, but
yeah,
Akiva, I thought that was a great episode. And I think a lot of people enjoyed it, but we did get a lot of like fact checks.
Yeah, I was today years old when I knew how many like pedantic listeners.
Yeah,
I mean, I appreciated like the person who went through every fact.
I did too.
That was fun.
Yeah, like, somebody went through every single one and basically found out that probably close to half of the things that we were today years old when we learned, we should not have learned because they were either misrepresented or just totally not true.
If we do that again, can we have that person on as a fact checker? Like a live fact checker, maybe a whole team of people.
Oh yeah, that would be great if we had somebody for, it's us bantering, but then also maybe at the end, like I don't know if maybe also then the listeners are trying to slip in a few fake facts that aren't true.
Oh, that's pretty good. Slip in some fake facts. That's good. Next time, everyone slip in a fake fact and see if we could catch them.
Okay, all right. Well, let's bring in the woman of the hour here today, and maybe if it's multiple hours. Okay, and she, of course, is my co-host when we talk about Claim to Fame over on RHAP. Of course, she was my co-host, not just for Claim to Fame, but also The Edge of Extinction, and also Joe Millionaire 3. Please welcome back the great Jenny Autumn.
Hello. Wow. I feel like it's been a while since I've roamed these RAANAP streets.
Yes. And if the RAANAP universe tells us anything, we'll spin the wheel and Rob and Akiva Need a New Catchphrase will come up, and then you'll be on next week too.
No, I think that the way that it works is I always end up coming on around mine and Akiva's birthday.
Yes.
We're about a month out.
Is this that? This is the birthday episode?
It'll be the catchphrase.
Catchphrase is probably going to come up.
The birthday episode.
September 26th-ish.
Yes.
So it'll be like the September 24th-ish. That's
one of our great traditions. Yeah, one of our great traditions, our birthday episode.
Yes. Okay.
Rob, I'm surprised we could still get Jenny. I feel like 2022 has been the year of Jenny.
She blew up.
Blew up, big star now. I mean, do we take a little bit of credit for it? Yes, sure, we can take a little bit, but listen, this has really been the year of Jenny.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that was the case, but I appreciate it. I mean, I have been busy I guess you would say I've been booked and busy. But I'm never too busy for you guys. Like this is my home. This is the chaotic environment I thrive in. And so, I can definitely say without RAANAP, I don't think that I would appreciate the chaotic shows that I have gotten to cover in 2022.
Jenny, you're being very generous.
Jenny, could we have a little bit of a deal here?
Sure.
Okay.
I had to produce this whole episode basically myself.
Yeah.
At some point, probably.
Wait, when you say I had to produce this myself, it makes it sound like, and Rob did nothing.
Well, I'm not. No, I mean,
you
Rob,
can't do anything.
You couldn't do anything. You're guessing. I'm the host. Like,
right.
There was no way you could do it. Well, first of all, I didn't need. It's called Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast. Like I do have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not optional.
It's an obligation.
It's not Rob and Akiva. It's not RHAP. It's Rob and Akiva.
Want a podcast?
Yeah.
That was not what the WAP. I thought.
No.
Yeah.
No. So I'm just saying, Jenny, in like 4 minutes to 120 minutes, at some point, probably bet the under. Rob will probably get annoyed at me. Just be kind.
How is that going to be any different than?
I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I could deal with a gang up. So I'm just teasing. So
Akiva,
yeah,
we're good. That's not in my nature.
I know you're not a ganger upper.
Yeah,
and also I love, like I just said, I love chaos. So
don't frame it that way. Where Rob is the bad guy.
Well, you're not the bad guy.
If we have a unspoken agreement that we know what this podcast is and what it isn't, and then if you betray that agreement and I get annoyed with you, Akiva, I'm holding you accountable. I'm not a villain.
I love this.
Like, for me.
Yeah. Actions have consequences.
Yeah. If this game is impossible, if you've never heard of like
if it stinks,
contestants, if maybe they're too obvious, half of the relatives come on with their video on and a sign that says their last name.
Well, I've turned over a new leaf. I'm just gonna say, Akiva, bless his heart.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I like
that. As we say in the South.
As we say in the South. Yeah. Y'all need to understand, Akiva, he's built different.
Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the appeal of this episode to me is I always have a special appreciation for an exclusive Akiva joint, where it's just like, who knows?
Most of the classic episodes are exclusive Akiva
but
joint.
Here's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Yes.
I know Akiva has worked on this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Akiva's worked hard on this.
Very busy Akiva.
So we are getting engaged Akiva today. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's not like Akiva's not going to be like 20 minutes from now saying like, I think we could just skip to the mailbag. I think the listeners want a short episode today. Yeah.
This is basically Akiva drives, right?
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
So I am looking forward to Akiva being present and
I'm always
excited
present.
about what we're doing here today.
Attendance record.
Yes.
And paying attention record.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
reading the comments
to.
Too much, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Never read the comments.
Akiva seemed very disengaged.
Yes. Akiva, what have you been up to this week?
Been very busy.
You made it home?
Made it home. I had a few more days without my family. I had an argument with my wife. So my wife took the kids.
On your anniversary week?
I didn't see my wife my whole anniversary day. I didn't even speak to her. We did not speak. Because I was flying the whole day.
Did you at least send a text?
Yeah, it was. I sent a text. It said "Happy Anniversary," and she wrote back "Happy Anniversary."
Okay.
Was there a passive aggressive energy behind the message?
No.
Okay.
She understood.
As long as it was sincere and there was love behind it.
I mean, I didn't get an exclamation point back or anything.
Oh, so no emojis.
No I mean, she's not a big emoji person.
Okay.
But so I had an argument with my wife because she left with the kids like July 2nd. School ended June 30th. She left July 2nd and just got back on Friday, August 20, whatever. And so she was really gone the whole summer. I joined her in New York and Florida for a couple of weeks, but they were away basically for 2 months. And she said something yesterday about needing a vacation. And I like delicately reminded her that she was on vacation for 52 days. And then she said that wasn't a vacation because I had most of the children.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, then what's a vacation? If you get away without any of our kids, that may never happen until we're like 70 years old. So she's like, it's not a vacation. Like you were getting, like, you didn't have to make dinner once in the last 52 days. You didn't have to serve a meal. You didn't have to do anything. You're just hanging out, and my parents and your parents. Not a vacation, apparently.
Yeah, so maybe we should define vacation.
I don't think going to my parents is a vacation. Like, unless you're
they have a pool. They're hanging out. You're going to restaurants like 3 meals. Like, you're just being completely taken care of, you know?
I think that's somewhere between like regular life and vacation. Like it really depends.
Yeah.
Like what people's definition of a vacation is, because it's like, is vacation any days that you say take off of work? Is vacation any trip that requires you to travel out of your city to go do? Is that all? And if it's not work related, it's vacation.
Yeah.
Because I personally, like, if I take vacation off of work and I go to my parents, I love them. That's great. But I don't necessarily think like, it's a vacation. It's like I took a day off and I went and visited my parents.
That's a family obligation. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like, did you go someplace like for leisure? Did you pick a destination that you didn't have to go to for enjoyment? I think that's the definition of vacation.
This was her choice. I didn't say like, hey, we have to go away for 7, 8, or 8 weeks.
Wasn't there a family wedding that was happening?
Yeah, but that was like day 47. We didn't have to go 6 weeks early for it. So my daughter just walks over.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of a podcast. I guess I didn't, I haven't been around the kids recently, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's been a free-for-all. She said, which shoes go best with this dress? Now, is there a person on earth who would be less inclined? Do you want to ask Jenny?
I can help.
Here, do you want to show them your shoes? Do you want to take off your shoes, or are you going to like stand up on a chair here? Because I don't know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the chaos I was hoping for. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see the shoe.
Jenny, can you describe the shoe?
The shoe is like, it's like a white sneaker. It's like, it's like Converse-esque, but like it has like a thicker sole.
Yeah. Give me the other shoe.
Okay.
And then you'll show them the dress. You won't both.
Okay. Yeah. Show me the shoes, Keeve. Like, hold up the shoes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the first shoe. This is what?
Yeah.
This
it's like a low
Converse?
top. Kind of Converse style sneaker.
Okay. And
okay. Very cool. Oh, this is like a high top. Like,
this is a high top. Yeah.
Okay. That's like more of like a basketball.
You don't want to be on.
I don't care.
So she's wearing like a camo.
Okay.
Dress.
So it's like a camo dress. I'm thinking the lower shoe.
Low top.
What were you thinking, Akiva? What were you thinking?
I don't even know I don't know what any of this even means.
Okay.
But either is a fine choice. They're very similar.
Okay. Why don't we set up what we're doing here today for the listeners who are probably very confused.
Very confused. We haven't even mentioned what we're doing yet. It's a half
Was that the first celebrity that was that we were guessing what relationship that was Akiva's daughter. That's my guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids have known me. She's 13 years old. She knows like I don't know what like a scrunchie is or any like these people, and then they're coming in and asking me for matching advice.
Akiva, you don't know what a scrunchie is?
Are scrunchies still a thing, Jenny?
Aren't you a 90s kid?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know what I'm just saying. Like I don't know.
Do your
much
kids know what a scrunchie is?
They know what a scrunchie is, but I don't know much about
the
like
back. That's
women's
back.
fashion.
Oh, 90s are back. Yeah.
Everything's back.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Here's what we're doing. This episode is called RAANAP Claim to Fame or RHAP Claim to Fame. Either one.
Why isn't it Rob and Akiva have a claim to fame?
Well, really, this week it's almost like Rob and Jenny. I don't know. It's
I guess so. Yeah, it is kind of confusing.
So, what we are doing is, if you are not familiar with the hit ABC television show Claim to Fame,
is it a hit? Would you say you study the ratings?
The podcast about it is a hit.
Yeah,
I do not know if I don't know if the TV show is a hit. I hope it's a hit at least enough that it comes back because
lots of people are watching it. Like maybe
but in
I don't
our
know.
weird world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So
but
it may be a hit. I haven't seen
every single person that has told me about it that has checked it out has liked it. I haven't heard from one person that watched it and said
it is
not for me.
It is the rare sort of like trash reality show that ends up being good. Like it's like most of these shows are one and done. You forget they existed 18 months later. So yeah, this is unique in that most people do like the actual television show. So basically the premise of the show is a bunch of celebrities, the relatives of a bunch of celebrities live in a house and they have to figure out who each person is related to. And they guess at the end of an episode and it's very fun. So we're going to do something similar this episode. We've invited relatives of 7 different RHAP RAANAP personalities. and Rob and Jenny will be guessing who they're related to. We'll have them on one at a time. 5 of them will be in person. 2 of them will be in pre-recorded audio because we couldn't get everybody. It's easy to get the podcasters on like, hey, you're busy Saturday at 2. People usually say yes. People's parents, much cooler than us. They're like, nah, going to the beach. You know, people's spouses like, nah, they don't even like, I didn't even tell them I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell them I'm a podcaster. Like they don't, it's a secret. Don't let them know. So it was definitely harder to finagle these relatives than it's ever been to finagle any group of podcasters, to be honest.
It delights me that you've had to like coordinate a group of strangers essentially for this.
Yeah.
Like that part is really fun to me.
Yeah, I'm like,
these people do they know who you are? Like they're just like
they do now.
Strange man.
They do now. They do.
Yeah,
now.
they do. They got an introduction.
Okay. All right. So, and then what are we going to do with the people once we are going to speak with them?
What are we going to do? Okay. So
yeah, can you explain the game? What the game is going to be for the listeners?
They are going to come on.
Yes.
Ideally anonymously.
Okay.
They are going to.
Should Jenny and I wear blindfolds?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
They are going to.
You ever podcast blindfolded, Jenny?
I don't think so. That sounds like a fun little. Yeah.
That could be a first. Yeah.
Yeah. Kinky.
So they will come on. They will give 2 truths and a lie. We could banter about that. You could guess which one the lie is. Then you will have a list of pre-approved questions. Okay.
Okay.
Those pre-approved questions, you can each ask one of them. Sometimes
you wrote the pre-approved questions?
I had a team of people who helped with the pre-approved questions. You don't like them? You already don't like them?
I'm curious to know where the pre-approved questions came from.
We had a team of people.
Yes.
And then
because when the last time we did something like this, and you were the one who was coming up with the questions, you were like, do you like sports?
Yeah, no, it was but although that is one of the pre-approved questions. Does your claim to fame like sports? You do not have to ask it. There's 11 or 12 questions. So you have plenty of options. The reason I came up with it was because I was not good in real time at coming up with relevant questions when we were trying to guess who's dating who. So I figured I'd do the 2 of you a favor and make the pre-approved questions. Okay. While we are waiting for our first person, yes. I will list you, and you guys can take out a pen and paper if you're playing at home. Yes. The list of relationships, I will give you some clues, and we could even read through the questions very quickly.
Okay. So are we
going to finish the game?
Yes.
They're going to say the truth, truth, and a lie. You're going to ask them questions. You could speak to them for 30 or 60 seconds after. Just get to know them a little bit. Don't ask any like pointed questions. This is more just to like, hear their voice, see what they got going on. And
are we going to see them?
See what they've got going on.
No, they will be on audio.
Okay.
And then
see this? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
You will guess. The 2 of you will come up with one guess.
Yeah. So what is it, Jenny?
Well, I was just going to say, like, is this going to be a disadvantage for us? Because in claim to fame, like, you are all literally seeing the other people.
Yeah.
And perhaps now, is it because there's a smaller pool of people that this could be?
That 40 podcasters who are options here versus, I'd say,
it's just gonna be
based on their list of celebrities. Yeah, based on their list of celebrities, there may be 10,000. Now, if you guess incorrectly, in theory, we can have the person reveal without saying who they're related to, and then you could guess again if you think that makes more sense. Like a blind guess and then a guess where they could see. Yeah, but then eventually they will guess. They will turn on their camera. You'll guess. They'll turn on their camera, and then.
Are we posting the video of this, or only?
Yeah, this is a video episode. This is a video episode.
So there will be a video reveal.
Yes, there will be a video reveal.
That'll be fun to determine whether we think they look like the person.
Yes. And then so here you can play along. The list of relationships is as follows. Okay. We have 3 siblings, 2 children, 1 partner, and 1 I'm going to keep a mystery for now.
When you say children, you're saying that the podcaster is the child of this person, or
no,
that
it's the podcaster's
so
child,
I should say, I guess I should say parent. Probably would make more sense.
Yeah,
parent.
very much so.
Yeah, okay, because I was gonna say, are we getting Asher Bloom? Like,
yes. Are we gonna meet a baby? Whose baby is this?
Whose baby?
Yes,
it's like a mystery baby.
Noises.
Also. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Are you a sports fan?
Now, are we going to like reveal them one at a time, or are we gonna like Jenny and I are gonna give our 7 answers and then we're gonna find everything out at the end?
No, you're gonna reveal them one at a time. Goodbye.
Okay. Because
we're gonna get
then our clues will be
validation.
By the end, you'll know at the And then, okay, here are your 7 clues. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're playing at home, you could write these down. Magic school.
Okay.
That's 1. Band camp. That's number 2. Bread is number 3.
Okay.
Clue number 4 is drunk. Clue number 5 is pink. Clue number 6 is fever. And clue number 7 is Roswell.
Okay.
And so these are clues. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here, because we already got messed up with the parent-child thing. So
bless his heart.
I want to hop into your brain for a hot minute here, Akiva. Okay.
I would get in and out quickly, though.
I'm gonna do it as fast as I possibly can. Okay.
Yes.
These are clues that are about the podcasters.
The podcaster, yes.
This,
Almost everything will be about
the podcaster. So the person that's coming on is telling 2 truths and a lie about the podcast or about their relationships?
Both. The answer is both. Okay. It's not, it's not just about them. It's not like, I have 3 PhDs from Harvard University. It would be something where at least it could give you some insight.
Okay.
But they also pick them. So if the 2 truths and a lie are bad, you sort of have to blame the relative.
All right. Another question.
But we didn't vet you didn't vet the 2 truths and a lie?
I do. I sent some back. I did send some back. But it's,
all right. It's not completely vetted. The 7 clues that you have just listed here, were these clues that were generated by you and your team, or did the relatives come up with their own clue for these people?
I'll say me and my team, although one of the people said that their clue was too hard and gave me an easier clue.
Okay.
All right. So you were also consulting the podcasters related to these people.
In some instances, yes, some no. It depends on how interested I thought they were in my, Jenny, you've gotten these before, like random DMs from me about something stupid, and it's all right, sometimes somebody,
that's the only DMs I get from you.
Rob, I get ideas sometimes about a future episode or whatever, or like this, and I send people, or sometimes I'll just think of something and I'll send it to somebody, and I mean, people are usually nice and they respond, but a lot of times it's out of nowhere, So.
Yeah, I'm never getting expected messages from you, except for like right before a podcast like today when it's a Zoom link. Everything else is out of left field.
Magic school, band camp, bread, drunk, pink, fever, and Roswell. Those are the clues. And I'll list you the
did any of those clues really speak to you?
Well, magic school, I'm already like, is this magic school bus or is this like a Hogwarts Harry Potter thing?
Interesting.
So I'm already the wheels are turning.
Yeah.
So
do they actually play defense on the 2 of you and try and like steer you astray?
Oh my God. I don't think the Jonas brothers are doing that, are they?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be necessary. I think that you've already done all of the defense necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now here's the list of questions. Yes, Jenny.
Well, I want to know what Jonas brher you identify more with.
Well, I've always been a big fan of the bonus Jonas, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he was always out there, and it was like, well, all of his siblings are so famous, and what does he think about it?
Yeah.
And now he's famous.
And now here he is
famous.
thriving.
Yeah.
Here's the list of questions. Does your claim to fame live in the US? Does your claim to fame live in Canada? That's a very RJP specific question. Is your claim to fame married? Is your claim to fame a parent? Is your claim to fame a big sports fan? Put that one in for Rob.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay. The person that they're related to is their claim to fame.
Yeah, loved one, claim to fame. Yeah, whatever you want to. They could call it whatever they want. Does your claim to fame live in a warm or cold climate?
Because the show doesn't really use your claim to fame as like a noun to refer to
them. They do, don't they? Because then they're like, when you do the guess, it's like, I think your claim to fame is Zendaya.
Yeah.
Rob, you watch that show?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times.
What decade was your claim to fame born in? I think there's probably a better, more specific question than that, but I didn't want to like force people into saying their exact age. Who is your claim to fame's favorite musical act or artist? How many siblings does your claim to fame have? Does your claim to fame have any tattoos? And what does your claim to fame like to do in their spare time?
Do we have to like hit all of these questions at some point, or if we think that one of these is just so useless.
Do we have to use all of these, or are we like limited? If there's like a good, like here's a good question, we'll ask this to every person, and
you can ask it to every person. And again, you get a question, Jenny gets a question, so
you
may have different strategies. You each get one. Sometimes I will give you a bonus third one also.
Okay, a bonus Jonas.
As the bonus,
a bonus
Jonas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I would say, like, right now, I'd say it's going great because our first person straight up has not shown up.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought that we were stalling when we read the list of questions that we have to ask.
I think I was going to read them anyway, but the first person, like
these people owe us nothing. That's the scary part of this.
That is true.
Can we get the podcasters are like, I don't want to like ruin my relationship.
True.
I want to get asked.
It's like, oh no, if I piss off Keith, that's it. That's it.
Like
I'm finished in this.
Okay.
Kailish's cousin is not concerned about.
Okay. Do you want to just? Do you know what the clues are for this person?
Do you think I should do it myself?
Why don't if we don't have somebody ready to go, why don't you do one of the pre-recorded ones?
So first of all, Jenny should be producing this podcast. This is why it's the year of Jenny, because that's a great idea. That was my plan.
We got things ready.
Here's the thing. We're so close to the number 2's time. I think we're just going to get to right into number 2. I didn't want to start with the pre-recorded ones because I feel like those are less exciting.
Okay.
You know. But if no one shows up, what if you know those like viral videos where it's like I made a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese for my son Johnny. I invited his whole grade. And then there's like a sad picture. Not one kid showed up. And then they like start a GoFundMe or something. And everyone, you ever see these on Twitter?
I have not.
These go viral. Yeah. These go viral like every 3 months. It's like nobody showed up to my son's birthday party.
Why do I have to give them money?
I don't know.
Give me money. My kid's a loser.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm going to send him a birthday present or something. Like they always end up sort of grifting.
It's like people feel bad, so they get a bunch of free shit.
Yeah. So yes, I those go viral. So what if I threw a podcast and not one relative shows up? What do you think?
You're trying to get money out of this?
Yeah. Would you want us to send money?
So we
have to create a GoFundMe for Akiva.
Phil and Puya could make a big viral TikTok of here's Akiva. Nobody's at the podcast. Rob just berating me. I'm crying by the end.
You know, and then there's Chuck E. Cheese. Do you know what the E stands for?
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Charles Entertainment Cheese is his name.
Yes, it is. It was a trivia question at my trivia bar trivia thing.
Yeah.
This past week. So it's top
Rob,
of
do you
mind.
know that? Have you ever taken the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, Rob?
I did. It was a point of contention between my wife and myself in the pre-COVID times.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Everything was dirty.
Nicole is very anti Chuck E. Cheese. And then once COVID hit, I think she basically tried to say like that Chuck E. Cheese had like some kind of a role in
COVID?
At least in like, I feel like with everything,
Entertainment Cheese
with everything going on, she's very much like when I met my wife, like she was like fun and hey, we're like who cares about anything? Like whatever. And then this was
and now she's blaming the pandemic on David Buster's.
Like more Purell than you could imagine, and
I mean, to be fair,
wipes,
I feel like Chuck E. Cheese is definitely a breeding ground for all sorts of things.
yeah. So she's not a fan. She's not a fan.
All right.
I think I'm Team Nicole on this, to be honest. It sounds like the worst place I could ever go.
She hates arcades. Yes. Okay.
I hate R. Kelly. We have our first contestant.
It's not a hot take.
My daughter, the one who just showed everyone her shoes on the podcast, is like, I really like Chris Brown. I'd like sit her down.
Oh no.
And she just heard about him. She didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, the whole,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, separate art from the artist, Daddy. She didn't really. Say that. Okay, Mr. X is here. First person.
Mr.
We have a
X.
contestant. This is supposed to be person 2. If you're scoring at home, you want to know what sort of chaos this is. Person 1 has not appeared yet. Mr. X, you can unmute if you'd like. Oh, I mean, you could just stay muted also. What, Rob?
I'll make it really hard.
I was going to tell them all to be Paw Patrol characters, but I did not relay that message. No, just
for
like
their names.
Their names should all be like Chase but then I didn't remember anybody after.
I wouldn't even
Chase
pick
and
up
Rubble.
on that.
Rubble.
Zuma,
Rocky.
The Zuma one. Rocky.
Zuma, yeah. Sky.
Mr. X.
Who's the new one? There's like a new one.
There's a bunch of like Avalanche. Like I think is like
Avalanche. They won the Stanley Cup this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Okay. Can you hear us, Mr. X, person one?
Mm.
No, you're supposed to speak, like use your real voice. You don't have to like grunt.
Yes.
Okay. You do a voice. Okay. All right.
Why is the person doing a voice?
That was not an instruction. I don't know.
This is a new twist.
Sir, are you disguising your voice?
Voice modulation.
Okay.
Was it actual voice modulation or?
All right. Can we have your two truths and a lie?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna do these 1, 2, 3 style, or you're gonna comment in between.
We usually do 3, 2, 1. Take a nap after the second one. Yeah. No. 1, 2, 3. Whatever order you want. I don't think. Yeah. And then they'll ask questions after. They don't have to stop down between all three of them.
Okay.
I think we could hear one at a time, and then it's a podcast. What are we in a rush? Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not in a rush. We don't even know where the other contestants are.
Okay. All right. Let's hear number one.
Okay. Number one. Number one is, I have not been to a doctor checkup since I was an infant.
Okay. Now
is
again,
this you?
Yeah.
Or is this your loved one?
This is Mr. Y. Or
Mr. Y. Okay. Okay, fine.
So Mr. Y is the known personality to RAANAP.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's somebody that we know that has not been to the doctor since they were a baby.
They were a baby.
Okay.
I'm not a big doctor goer, to be honest.
But you've been to a doctor since you were a baby.
I have been to a doctor, yes, since I was a baby, yes.
Okay. But that could be, but this could be a lie. Okay.
That's true.
Right. Okay.
What's number two, Mr. X?
I am a champion at the game of Naked Tetris. I set the high score 3 times.
Now you are, or the person is?
Yeah. Now I'm very curious.
Mr.
Y.
Mr. Y. Okay. So
now this person is not like, you should be saying this in the voice of
now,
like they.
Now, Naked Tetris. Now, is this that I am unclothed and I'm playing Tetris, or like I'm trying to fit parts of my body into like different shapes?
Nobody went there. Nobody else thought that. This could be somebody's mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you're embarrassing us.
Okay.
If you know Naked Tetris, you know Naked Tetris.
Oh my God, I certainly do not. So
I feel like this is a euphemism.
You think it's a euphemism?
Like, yeah, let me I got the straight one. Where do I put it? Okay.
Okay. Number 3. Right. When I was dating, a rich guy once offered to send me on an all expenses overseas trip if I married my then dating partner.
Okay. I need to hear that again.
Yeah.
When they were dating, a guy sent them what?
When I was dating, a rich guy offered to send me on an all expenses overseas trip if I married my then dating partner.
And again, this is about the person in question.
Yes,
Mr. Y.
Okay, but you are not the person. Like,
for the
why?
Purpose of this game, I am not.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Why would they do this in the first person, Akiva? This is like, shouldn't they be doing these in the third person? Like my person,
wait, Mr. X.
We can use they instead if it makes it easier.
Okay. Yes.
So Mr. Y was offered an all expenses trip overseas by the rich guy.
When the person that you were trying to guess was dating.
Yes.
Okay.
A rich guy offered to send them on an all expenses overseas trip if they married their then dating partner.
Oh, wow.
And are you that rich guy?
Nope.
Okay.
Very sure of that one.
Okay, now that Mr. X here mentions when this person was dating.
Yes.
So I think we should assume
that they're married. I think
that they are not.
So we should not be using that question, Rob. Right?
Right. Okay.
Unless they're just
what do you
like
think the lie is?
Just out of the dating pool.
I think the lie is naked Tetris.
If I just got a
yes
an apology from the first person, and if I
Okay.
could read their excuse, I don't think you could guess who their relative is. It's one
Is that part of the
wildest excuses I've ever read.
Yeah.
We might
Okay,
get to
I'm
it
ready.
later. It is
Okay.
bananas.
Okay.
I do. We'll get there.
All right, Jenny, you want to talk this through with me, and then
Yeah,
are
you
we?
each get a question. You each get a
Well,
question.
hold on. Well, can we talk through the 2 truths and a lie?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just reminding you. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
So,
Jenny.
Rob, you're feeling the naked Tetris.
I think
definitely...
the naked Tetris is so. First, I don't even think naked Tetris is
Like,
a thing.
Here's the thing. If you're playing Tetris on your phone or on some sort of like mobile gaming device, you can always be playing Tetris naked.
Yeah. What is
Like,
it specifically about Tetris?
It's not like it's a mode in the game where
Yeah.
like, I am playing this naked right now.
Is
Make this
there
more
like
Keeps the records
yeah.
for this also.
Yeah.
like okay, is naked Tetris instead of like the blocks, all of the items falling from the top are in the shapes of like phallic or like
I was gonna say,
some
are
sort of-
people in different positions?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that would be like sex Tetris, I think.
It's
Really,
a look like
but,
Kama Sutra. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if they're naked, also then maybe there's no sexual connotation there.
All right,
but,
Mr. X is sharing in the chat the
gosh.
list of Tetris variants. Oh my god.
Okay, well, see, Mr. X is really trying to influence us here.
Yes.
On
Okay.
the fact that this might not be a lie.
All right. So does this anything you are hearing about has not been to the doctor since they were a baby, potentially plays naked Tetris. Also, a rich person wanted to offer them to what was the offer? Send them on a trip?
It was
All
so
expenses overseas trip. If they married their then boyfriend or girlfriend.
I
Okay.
will
Like a
say,
honeymoon?
I'm searching the term naked on this list of Tetris variants we were just sent in the chat, and there's no naked.
Frankly,
coming up on
I'd
this.
rather research COVID variants.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps I have safe search on or something it's being filtered out.
Yes. Okay. So Jenny, what does
What a crazy story.
Yeah. What anything here speak to you?
Oh boy, it's saying lots of things. I don't know if I should repeat it.
Do you know anybody that's particularly allergic to going to the doctor?
Here's my guess. I feel like it's gotta be a guy if this is true.
Mm-hmm.
I think that no, like not to like generalize, but I just feel like not going to the doctor is like way more of a guy thing than like a woman thing.
Interesting.
But that could just be my own bias as like a woman that has like a million doctors. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like none of my female friends like don't go to the doctor.
Seems
ever.
unlikely.
So,
and then
yeah.
Okay.
If you told me Phil has never been to the doctor, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Seems like a healthy guy.
Yeah. Okay. And then that last one again was when they were dating their partner, a rich guy offered to send them to an overseas trip to make sure they got married. This is like a dowry. Yeah.
So what we need to keep in mind here is that one of the relationships on this list is partner. So is it possible that, okay, well, Mr. X did say, like, we're not getting enough indication on like what the relationship of Mr. X, Mr. Y. In Claim to Fame, we get at least, they always say how they're related to the person, and that could be the lie. Do we think that Mr. X is the partner that got offered?
So it's certainly possible.
Because like, why else do they know this? I don't know. This is a weird story.
Mhm.
That seems just so aggressively like out of left field that
Yeah.
It's almost too obvious to be the lie, right?
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the questions here.
Okay.
Jenny,
So,
do you have a question?
I think that, okay, so I don't think we need to ask if they are married, because I'm making the assumption that they are married based on the one clue.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or false.
Should we collaborate on what questions we're going to ask? Because I think the what decade is your claim to fame born in, I think is a very helpful question.
That was also top of my list. So we want to, or Akiva, does Rob and I each have to separately pick a question, or can we just collaborate and decide?
You can collaborate. You could. Great question. You can collaborate.
Because if we're working as a team, like I don't see the.
You guys have good teamwork. I would be like
first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What decade was your claim to fame born in?
Before I answer, can I ask a question as well?
No.
1980s. My question is, are either the guessers really good at Guess Who?
I haven't played it in some time, but I am pretty good. I'm a visual person, so if I can see a bunch of faces, then so I think that is why I'm good at Guess Who. But that's the problem. It's like I don't have faces in front of me right now. Like, can we be asking like, does your claim to fame wear glasses? That's not on the list of questions.
No, it's not on our approved list. Yeah,
I would have liked that. I think that would have narrowed some things.
Should we add that? Maybe.
I think the answer is going to be sometimes. Yeah,
Jenny, you can ask one of the 7 people if they wear glasses. You get a bonus.
Okay, I'll save that. I'll put that in my pocket.
Yes.
I think it's narrowed down to 2 people, and one of them wears glasses.
Yes.
Okay. The 1980s.
1980s.
Okay.
1980s. Okay, so that would put the person potentially from being from 32 to 42 years old by my math.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's right. Yeah. So that's the decade that Akiva and I are born in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Jenny, any of these other questions would this help you?
I mean, do we want to ask if they're parents?
If they have not been to a doctor themselves, I feel like that they're not likely to be a parent. But I feel like that of these questions,
do we think that there's a chance that there's like someone is not living in the United States or Canada? Like we have those 2 options to ask, but like we've got some people in the RAANAP universe that are not North American whatsoever. I'm just like, is that going to be a waste? Because if you say no, we can't necessarily assume like if they say no to United States, they're not necessarily Canada. I don't know. This is so I just want to know so much more about this story. I guess we can maybe get to that. Okay. The sports fan thing, I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
I feel like it's not going to be particularly helpful.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Do we want to say
tattoos?
I mean, I think that there are a lot of people that have tattoos and they're just like, we just don't know it because they're not like, especially if you only
tattooed people.
Well, I just think that like, if you're only seeing people on podcasts, they're not like always video podcasts, and like not everyone has tattoos.
How about
visible?
What do they like to do in their spare time? Yeah,
that would be pretty sick.
That would be wild. Yeah. What does your claim to fame like to do in their spare time? How about that?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. What does your claim to fame like to do in their spare time?
That is a good question. Akiva,
you can think Akiva.
Can you give me guidance on how I frame the answer? Because it can be taken in many ways.
I would say like name, I don't know, one of their hobbies or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answers. I don't know.
Don't say podcasting.
I wasn't thinking about like, this is actually probably because a lot of the questions are yes, no. This is like a harder question for the loved ones here. Or I don't know. You didn't say if you love the person or not. So. Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know. Just answer it because the next person has a hard out.
Watching TV shows.
Okay, no, it doesn't really help us.
Not helpful.
All right, so now are we in the open chat discussion?
Yes. Now you could speak
Okay.
to them for like 36 seconds, then you have to guess.
Okay, 36 seconds.
30 to 60, I said.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Y, have you ever heard an episode of this or any other RHAP podcast?
This is a question to me.
Yes.
He's Mr. X.
He's Mr. X. You called him Mr. Y.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's
guessing
Mr.
on
Y then?
Mr. Y is
The person you're trying to
relative.
guess. You mistered him.
We're trying to solve for Y.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Jenny was a good student in school.
Okay.
Argue.
I listened to Triple R.
Triple R. Wow.
Okay.
And then, was there a guest on that episode?
Yes.
No.
I got this.
Oh.
You got it?
I got this. Yeah.
Okay, Rob.
All right.
Now what happens now, Keith? Does
Um,
Rob
you can guess. The two of you can guess, and then this
Do
person
we have to
will
face
reveal.
do we have to face Mr. X like
Yeah, they'll
like on the
reveal.
show?
They will. You will guess. They will turn on their
camera?
and they will say if you're right or wrong.
Okay.
Don't
okay.
say who you're related to if they're wrong. Okay, Mr.
Okay.
X.
All right.
If they're right, you can say they're right. If they're
Oh,
wrong,
because you don't want to give us information on
no, I'm
yes,
saying you
okay.
could get a second guess with the face if you want.
Oh, okay.
That's like a
Didn't
one
know that
point
was
game
part of
versus-
the deal.
yeah.
But
All right. Jenny, any other questions?
no.
Okay.
I mean, I do, but we don't have all day here.
Okay. All right. So what do we do now? Do you just want the guess? Okay.
Yeah. If you feel you're feeling good.
Jenny, do you have a
Yes.
clue? Do you have like a person you'd guess right now?
No.
No.
I'm already forgetting who was on that episode too. So if you guys had a guess for sure.
Who was on that
Mhm.
episode, Rob?
Is that who you're guessing, Rob?
I am going to guess, yes, the person that was on that episode of the podcast.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I am going to say that
Oh yeah, that was so recent. Okay.
Mr. X's claim to fame is the great Sasha Joseph.
It's gotta be. I forgot the name of that.
Mr. X, can you reveal, please? Is that what they say on Drag Race? I've never seen it.
Reveal name or reveal video?
Video, please. Just video. So much drama. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. X.
Mr.
Well, I
X.
know this isn't Sasha's.
Are they right or
partner.
wrong? Are they right or wrong, Mr. X?
I haven't heard the right answer yet.
No, okay, fine. That's a wrong.
Okay.
And that was a reasonable guess, Rob, because if
yep.
Sasha was the guest, then that's the only. Are you just like?
Yeah. I really
why
thought
this episode.
So I really thought that that we had it.
Wow.
Okay. What now, Akiva?
Part time. I
Yeah,
can just elaborate on what they do in their part time.
Do you
Yes,
want to guess?
okay.
Looking at their face, do you have a guess?
They do podcast. That's what they also do in their part time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna assume
Okay.
most of these people podcast.
Yeah, most
but
of these
I'm
people
not-
are podcasters.
unless it was
Yes.
just like a.
Can I give you a hint now that you got it wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm famously a very nice person.
Okay.
I've been a little strict with this person. I feel like if it was, say, someone I never met, like Sasha Joseph's husband, I probably would have been kinder. That's just my hint.
Okay.
Oh, is this person related to you?
No,
Oh
no, I would have been
Okay.
even meaner.
All right.
So, does that
person
mean-
read the books behind Akiva?
Oh, is your claim to fame Alexander Chester?
It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. It's Chester's
you guys
brother.
look similar.
Okay.
Are you
All
a
right.
sibling?
Chester's brother.
Chester's. Yeah. Now I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
And do you see how he didn't follow the rules at all?
What?
Mhm.
This
Okay.
story. Okay.
He had
what's
three
the
pre-approved
lie?
questions and didn't he sent.
You said
it
me
was
the
so
lamest question.
It was so funny because he what's it called? He sent in questions. I didn't like them. I thought it would be too obvious that they would be Chester.
Yeah.
So me and Chester came up with the three. I sent them to this person, to Sammy. And he
Okay,
said,
Sammy
all
Chester.
three of these
Yeah.
are all three of these are lies.
Sammy,
They
the
couldn't argue on
only
one
episode
story.
of this.
Wait.
Yeah. The
All
only
three
episode.
are lies.
No,
Because
no.
one brother thought they were all true and one thought they were all lies.
No. Rob got it right. The lie is naked Tetris. The other two are completely correct.
So,
You're not naked
so-
Tetris? Sammy, are you naked Tetris?
No.
Okay.
I will leave it to Alex.
You do like
Yes,
being naked,
okay.
right, Sammy?
All right.
I will leave it to Alex to explain
So
his
Chester
country.
has not been to the doctor since he was a baby.
He has not had a checkup since he was a baby. Yes.
Okay.
Told you that's a man thing.
A man thing. Jenny
yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
And then also that when he was dating Dr. Jen, a rich guy offered to send her to was that her father?
He told that story, I think, on his podcast like 10 times, but he loved telling that story.
He saw that anecdote and said not true. So everyone the both brothers said, the other one said
he's literally told that story.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Podcast.
We have a
get
debate
such a long
over
note.
whether something was
Rob, we're
true.
gonna get such a long note in our chat.
Right.
After Shabbat.
But Sammy, the only episode of this podcast
what
that
the
you
hell,
ever listened
Sammy?
to was RRR.
RRR? Your
I'm
brother's
a
been
movie
on
guy.
like 4 times.
Yeah, I don't follow my brother's private life.
Except for
Yeah.
the
Listen to my
story
brother's
about
podcast.
him being offered a trip, I guess.
Yes. Okay. And then you just saw RRR in one day and it's like, oh, I got to check that one out.
He's a
That's
big
the
movies
one.
guy. Remember, he had his own movies podcast on 30.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
So,
he's a Sasha Joseph stan.
boy, I really
Why not?
really got faked out. I thought it was Sasha.
I forgot the name of that movie because I was like, that sounds familiar. When was that? I couldn't.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the image, I was like, oh yeah.
I was Googling live voice modulation because I figured out.
Yeah. No. All right.
That wouldn't have helped.
Okay.
Good luck, guys.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're going to
Thank
need
you,
it.
Sammy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sammy. Okay. All right.
Mr. X and Mr.
There you
Y.
go. So,
Oh.
0 for 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I think
What-
that was gettable. I think that was like
What
pretty...
was the clue there of the
okay.
drunk?
The clue was this is probably the hardest clue. It
Yes.
was, but this person says it in every episode of the show. It was Roswell.
Who says Roswell in every episode of the
This
show?
Alex Chester. It's in the Men in Black thing.
Oh, he says it in every episode.
In every
Oh.
episode of this show.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, but should we be doing this because we're gonna be able to
Yeah,
narrow down?
bless
Yes,
his
you'll
heart.
be able
Yeah,
to narrow it down.
yeah.
You
Okay.
what do you think?
Okay.
That
don't
was
know.
the hardest one anyway. Maybe I won't
All
tell
right.
you.
Let's see
all
the
the
next.
clues.
Let's maybe.
We'll
okay.
see if we can figure out the key word after the next person.
Okay. All right. Here, you know what? Let me for the podcast here. Let's take a break, collect ourselves, and get ready for person number 2 when we come back. All right, Akiva.
Yes.
This is now person number 2, or this is technically person number 3.
This is going to be person number 3. Person number
Okay.
1, I think we're going to have to do in absentia.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, they'll be here in a minute. How do you think the first one went?
Let's just talk about the next person.
Well, they're not here yet.
I thought they had a heart out. They have a heart. Did they have a
aren't
heart
here
in?
yet.
Yeah.
They don't. They might have a heart in. But they said. I think
Yeah.
they were waiting for the signal.
I do think it would
so
be
engaged.
helpful.
I didn't see the DM. Yeah.
I don't know how you have a heart out if you don't have a heart in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it would be helpful if the person we were speaking to referred to these 2 truths and a lie as in the third person.
Let me explain something. Every other person who come on will do that.
Okay.
The Chesters do not know how to follow instructions at all. He knew better. Alex comes on. He's rating all of our guests like they know better.
Mhm.
Of course, they were given. I didn't want him to deviate a syllable from the things I gave him. I said, read those. He's like, I'll punch them up. No, I said, read them. Can I tell you what they were originally supposed to be?
Sure.
Sure.
And then we'll see if those were easier or harder.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the one he wanted with the rich person, he said billionaire. And I said, Rob will probably clock. Like, who knows billionaires? Probably just Chester, right? He had one also about like meeting Obama. And
Yeah?
that would be what's it called? That would have been a giveaway too.
Why? Because everybody knows Chester met Obama?
No, but I feel like Chester has all these pictures with Biden and Obama.
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, that
Yeah.
wouldn't have been.
I thought that was a little bit more of a Rob one than Jenny one, honestly.
Honestly, I was totally thrown off. I thought these were all going to be people that have podcasts on RHAP. I never
these
would
are-
have. I
no,
never would have
no.
guessed Alex Chester.
Yeah.
But I said, that they're people. I think Chester is very, like, he's been on the show a bunch of times.
yeah.
Technically,
He's
32 Fans is on the with RHAP ad network, that counts.
I guess so. I guess so.
It's
I just said that this was framed as these are RHAP podcasters, not like personalities.
Yeah,
from,
no, it's
like,
RAANAP personalities.
Like I didn't know. I'm guessing like potential podcast guests. Like I feel like this is a pool of more than 40 people that you had originally said.
It's RHA. No, I mean it's RHAP personalities. RAANAP, I'd say RAANAP personalities. Some of these people maybe have never been on RHAP other than RAANAP, but it's RAANAP personalities. But it's not going to be someone who, it's not going to be someone that far. I mean, it could. Who knows? I don't want to say anything.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
Strap
Okay.
in.
2 truths and a lie. Can you hear us?
Loud and clear. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Just to make something clear, because the first person didn't follow the instructions. Can you read your 2 truths and a lie as like, my loved one or my claim to fame instead of just yeah, I mean, it's going to be obvious to everyone, Rob. The first person.
Okay.
It wasn't obvious to.
Okay.
All right. So
just to be clear, so I'm saying this as I am referring to my relative. What I'm saying is
your
things,
relative.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mystery person. Could you give us the first of your 3 statements?
My RHAP relative loves animals and at one point had 10 cats simultaneously.
Is that
Jenny, 10 cats. That's a lot, right?
It's a lot of cats.
A lot of cats. And I love cats, but
That's too many cats.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
10
speaking of
cats.
cats, one just hopped into my lap.
How many
Okay.
cats do you have, Jenny? 2?
No, just one.
Kirsten has 2. Okay.
Okay, but who
Mix
has
you guys.
10? Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Hope you have a lot of litter boxes.
All right. But this could be a lie. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Mystery person. Can we hear statement number 2?
Statement number 2. My RHAP relative worked at a haunted house for 3 seasons when they were in college.
Worked at a haunted house. It's almost spooky season, Akiva.
Mhm. Yep. Oh, we got to watch
In college.
Leprechaun again.
Okay, Rob, I just want to say at this point we are throwing out the guessing what country they're from because in college screams US, not Canada.
Okay. They would have said in university.
Yeah. In uni.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
university. Okay.
Okay.
Even though we do have colleges here, but it's just more likely to say in university.
Jenny's got her detective hat on. right
Okay.
now.
Okay. Who's better at spotting Canadians, Jenny or Akiva?
I always like when I say someone's Canadian on the podcast, they're like, how'd you know? I was like, well, you just said a boot 4 times. And they're like, no, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You want the
All right.
third truth or lie?
Yes. Mystery person. Can we have number 3?
Number 3. My RHAP relative's relative is Albert Einstein.
My relative's relative. What is this? The theory of relativity?
That's pretty
That's
quick.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This person is related to Albert. Wait, their relative. Okay, so does this mean, Rob, does this mean that our guest here, their relative is married to someone who's related to Albert Einstein? Is that what they're meaning by relative? Or
no,
is this person not actually blood related?
I think the person we know has is somehow related to Albert Einstein. Is that correct, mystery guest?
Yep. The person to which I am referring is related to Albert Einstein.
Okay, so the relative is Albert Einstein. The relative is related to Albert Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Boy.
Okay.
Who do we know
I'm
that
reading-
is related to Albert Einstein?
I have no freaking clue.
Right.
You want to ask your question?
Maybe Bob Einstein, but not Albert Einstein.
I think they are related, Bob Einstein and Albert Einstein. So in theory, they'd be related to both of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you want to ask your questions?
Hold on. Let's just talk it through here for a
Sure.
second. Okay. Jenny, did any of those things, 10 cats,
Mm-hmm.
worked at a haunted house,
Yeah.
and a relative of Albert Einstein, one of those has got to be fake. I think it's either the cats or Einstein.
I mean, Einstein seems so wild. I do believe the
But 10
do
cats
believe-
in one house?
the haunted house for
Yeah,
sure.
that seems very
10
plausible.
10 cats in, I mean, maybe, in college they lived in a really big shared house with a bunch of people that had a lot of rooms, and
So many
collectively
cats.
they had 10 cats. Sounds like a nightmare, honestly. And I love cats, but it smells terrible.
Okay. All right. So let's.
I can't imagine like
two
if we knew someone related to Albert Einstein, don't you think we would know?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this one of those things where it's like, oh, I did like
I think it would come up. I think we would have heard
ancestry.
That. Yeah.
You know,
I don't think it tells you like what famous people you're related to. I don't think it's literally claim to fame. They should advertise that. Like find out what celebrities you're related to.
Yeah.
By going to but how about do you want to ask the sports fan question? Although if it's just like yes, like I don't know if that's really going to help us that much.
I mean, yeah.
What do you want to do the decade question?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's I feel like is a good. It narrows down things.
By the way, this is the one question I'll say to our guest. If you think the person might not want this answered, you could say no comment and they'll ask a different question.
Oh wow. Okay.
I assume people will answer it, but that's why I didn't put it.
Okay. What that mystery guest? What decade was your claim to fame born in?
My claim to fame was born in the 1990s.
90s. Okay.
That's kind of that's what I was guessing. So.
That was Rob's question, 1990s?
Yeah.
It's all our questions.
We're working together.
We're a team. We are the LC and Logan.
How many questions do you guys get? Are we transitioning into 20 questions?
No.
More two questions. If I think they're totally hopeless, sometimes we'll give them a bonus third. But Jenny gets one question now.
Rob, how are you feeling about? So you mentioned the sports one. Do you think that that's helpful?
No, I do not think it will be.
I don't want to ask the spare time one because I feel like we're gonna get TV podcasts. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that this person. My guess is that they're not a parent or married. That's what I'm guessing. I mean, you definitely could be. If
you want to know about
the
the warmer, cold climate? I mean, the questions are not super helpful. Would siblings do anything for you? Should
we talk about who we think is the kind of person that would work at a haunted house? Like, my first thought was like, well, from America, he like worked in escape rooms, right? And so like that was where I started like the wheel started shifting.
Yeah.
I was like,
but I don't think he ever had 10 cats.
Right, but is he related to Einstein?
He's very smart. Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm just like, should we talk about who we might be narrowing it down to so we can decide what kind of question would help us? I'm just gonna put it. I don't know.
I think just ask a question, then we move on to the.
Okay. Who? Yeah, let's ask the climate one. Does your claim to fame live in a warm or cold climate?
My claim to fame lives in a warm climate.
Warm climate.
Okay. I mean,
so we're thinking U.S.
helpful.
We're thinking U.S. right? Probably.
Yes.
And we're thinking
who lives in the
south or the west, like south
or the west. Yes. 10 cats, worked in a haunted house. All right, so I guess we're in open season, right?
Yeah, you're in open season now. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think you need a third question, or do you want to just talk to the person for like 30 seconds?
I think from this list, would not help.
Wouldn't help.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, you were able to narrow down, according to you, knock out most of the states in Canada from that one question. Seems like it helped.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Mystery guest, have you listened to an episode of Rob and Akiva Need a podcast before?
I have not listened to an episode of that podcast before.
Okay.
I mean, there's only that's got to narrow it down.
Do they have 10? Do they have 10 cats currently?
No, currently no cats.
Currently no cats. Okay.
You're getting a lot of information here.
Okay. Well, we've definitely eliminated Wolf from America because I know he has cats.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of who doesn't have cats. Quite a few people.
You think most people don't have cats? think the majority of people in the world don't have cats.
I heard a fact.
Yes. Do you think most people in the world don't have cats? What do you think?
Oh my gosh. Should we ask the sports one? Do you think, Rob?
Sure. Mystery guest, is your person a sports fan?
No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Warm climate. Okay, who do we have like that lives in warmer climates, Rob? That's like we've got all of our Texas people, right? So we've got like Chappelle and Asia are both in Texas.
Yeah. Could this be boy? I was gonna say Melissa Denny, but she has dogs, not cats.
Yeah. Oh, can we ask more questions or no?
Go for it.
You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Is your claim to fame married?
Yes. My claim to fame is married.
Okay.
See, that could still be Melissa.
It could be.
Who do we have that's married, lives in a warm climate? Like that is Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her working at a haunted house. Is she a spooky season person? Who else lives in?
But I don't know
warm
if Akiva
climates?
could get Melissa's husband for the podcast.
But we don't know that it's the husband.
I guess so.
Does this
Could
sound
be a brother? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Can we ask? Do you know your loved one's favorite movie?
We had this conversation yesterday. In fact, it's just 2 or 3. But yeah, I could answer that question if I was forced to.
Yeah. Unless it's too personal, you can answer the question.
Should I answer the question?
Yes. Oh, yes, please. Yes. Sorry.
This individual's favorite movie is Little Miss Sunshine.
Miss Sunshine. Okay. Rob, I do
Carell, right?
I'm looking at the clues, Rob.
Yes.
There's one of the clues is drunk. Now, Melissa Denny did those drunk histories of Big Brother on YouTube.
Okay.
And she also included her husband in some of those.
Okay.
So I'm just
all right. Yeah, we got nothing else to go off of.
Do we want to make the guess?
Yes. We'll say is your claim to fame Melissa Denny?
Here, want to reveal video first, and then you can answer the question.
Okay.
My claim to fame is my wife, Melissa Denny.
Wow.
Oh, you got it.
Yes, a good get, Akiva.
Wow.
Yes.
That was good.
Dennis,
You could
how
never
are you?
get Dennis.
Drunk.
He said you could never get Dennis, and I said,
yeah,
just watch.
Yes.
He
Okay.
can get whoever he wants to get.
Is this your first podcast appearance, Dennis?
I've been in the background of the podcast many times.
Many times.
Melissa
Yes.
Here you're the star.
monopolizes the hallway that leads to our front door.
That's
so.
Yes.
why. Well, I've seen Dennis's face, so
Yes.
I just immediately
Now,
with the camera.
Dennis, what was the lie? Was it 10 cats?
It is not the 10 cats. Melissa's family is a bunch of animal lovers, and I think they had 1 or maybe 2 cats have litters, and they put them up on Craigslist or whatever it was at the time, and I think they gave away 1, and that was so traumatizing to give away this 1 cat that they just hung on to all of them.
Yes.
And Melissa actually texted me during this podcast that she went through the names, all of which are completely ridiculous. And it was 12, not 10 cats. So that is technically a lie, but
so it was a lie. Oh my goodness.
Now,
so that technically that was one of our
Doesn't
tricks.
count now.
The lie was the haunted house. Although Melissa does love spooky season, haunted houses.
That was a very, very benign lie.
Well,
Yeah,
can I
that's
say
the way to do it though. Like
there
if
was
you
a couple.
Really
There were a couple things there. First of all,
Yes.
Jenny almost nailed it right away, which was, and we didn't catch this when Melissa and I when we did the 2 truths and a lie, where Dennis says the relative of my relative, which we probably should have flagged because that like almost clearly indicates, if that's true, that is a spouse, which Jenny flagged, but then you guys kind of forgot. And also, you probably thought that was the lie anyway, possibly.
Yes.
But yeah, that is a good point because that would narrow it down. And then it's like, well, is this the spouse? There aren't that many female married podcasters.
Keith, I have big brain, but I have like very limited memory.
Short, yeah, memory.
Yes,
true. It's a blessing and a curse.
That
was good.
Melissa is related to Albert Einstein.
Yeah, what?
I don't know the exact relation. I think it's her cousins.
She told. Is she there right now? She told me.
Wait, she texted him
because I thought I when she sent that, I thought that was the lie, and then she said it's not. And I said, well, are you Jewish, Melissa? Because obviously Albert Einstein famously a Jew. And I think just via marriage, she had said. But still pretty amazing.
Yeah, her great-grandma's sister married Anne Einstein. I'd say his brother or something. So
Anne Einstein or Anne Einstein?
A.N. Einstein.
Okay.
So he's in the family tree up there somewhere, and there's always
interesting.
There's a couple Einsteins who are like more her close relatives that show up to kind of family dinner. So there's always Einstein,
like Albert Brooks
bouncing around.
Yeah,
that's pretty. So yeah, and so if I had heard that, if I was Jenny in this episode, I probably would have only guessed like a Mike Bloom, someone who is Jewish. But that would have thrown me off. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm impressed you got it. I didn't know that you'd get it, especially missing that. Dennis, can you, just to show Melissa and your dedication, can you say where you are right now?
We are in Hawaii, my first time. I think Melissa's 15th. That also would have been a good two truth and a lie candidate.
Oh,
wow.
For a wedding taking place later today. So
wow.
Look at that dedication, Rob.
That's very good.
Listen,
it's very early
no
there, right?
Yeah. To the dedication.
And it's early, yeah.
It's 9:30. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
That's early. We're podcasters. We don't get up before noon.
Yeah.
Dennis.
Wow.
Dennis, thank you for your dedication.
Yeah. Your
Happy to be
dedication.
Yes.
Akiva can get us, and he can get us whenever he wants.
Oh,
wow.
Dennis, yeah, you like any bad movies? You're welcome to come on anytime.
Yeah.
With or without Melissa.
Okay.
Melissa once rapped on this podcast also. I don't know if you know about that.
Not a clip that I've seen pop up in my Twitter feed. I'll have to hunt that one down.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Dennis, thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy Hawaii. Congrats on the wedding.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Jenny,
Thanks,
great job going back to the clue board there.
Yeah, it was very good. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you. Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, I am paying attention to the clue board.
That was very good. And
because when I first saw drunk, I thought, okay, there's a good
it's
chance
this
that
Chappelle.
I thought it was Allie Lasher's the drunk aunt of RHAP. And so I was like, but then I can see Allie as the kind of person being like, absolutely not. You're not contacting anyone in my family.
That sounds right.
Especially if it's Akiva asking.
Yes.
And so I was like, who else could drunk be for? And then once we honed in on the possibility that's Melissa, especially once we knew, the married, the warm climate, and then it all came together. Look at the teamwork, Rob.
We got
proud
it.
of us.
All right.
My morale is up now. I feel like this is possible.
That was great. I thought that was great. It was like I loved watching Jenny's brain wheels turning there. It was
okay.
Great.
I
did feel a little bad. They were in Hawaii. I didn't know like how much of a rush they were in, but that was great. That was great.
Okay.
So I'm going to let in person number 3. Really was supposed to be the 4th person right now.
Okay.
Person number 3. I told some people to do Paw Patrol. This person listened. So here's Chase.
Okay.
And then we'll get right into it with them.
We're
running 15 minutes behind. That's not bad.
Yes.
Now, have we lost a person, Akiva?
We did, but I have their things. I will play as that person.
Okay. All right.
It was, and I will ask for permission to read the excuse because it is interesting.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Do we have a mystery person here with us? Chase. Are you on the case?
Says Chase is connecting to audio.
Yeah, it takes like everyone like 90 seconds here to connect. Sam is listening. Sam, how do you think we're doing? If you could unmute for a second. Sam Moore.
It's a great
He's on
time.
the 1s and 2s. You're having a great time?
It's very fun.
I shouldn't have told you who it was, so we could have been like you could have been guessing too, Sam.
Sam
could have been your lifeline had we.
Oh, I thought you were saying I shouldn't have told you whose voice this was.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, I would guess. I would know.
You're like, I do talk to this guy all the time.
I have people, but I don't know who each person is related to.
Also, the Sam Moore bubble on the Zoom call is
probably gave it away. All right. I believe our next guest, Chase. Can you hear us, Chase?
Chase
connected.
Yes.
Hey, Chase.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, Chase.
You ready to give Rob and Jenny your 2 truths and a lie, please? You could go one at a time, and they'll maybe pause for a second between each one.
Okay, sounds good. All right, first one. My relative had a favorite pet ferret growing up.
Pet ferret.
So one ferret, or they had several ferrets and there was one that was a favorite?
Well, yes, they did have several, but
several ferrets. Okay.
That's an important distinction, I think.
All right.
It's really going to separate the multiple ferret to the single ferret podcasters.
Okay. No, number 2.
Number 2, my relative was conceived on a cruise ship.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, it's the motion of the ocean. Okay.
All right.
Conceived on a cruise ship. Do they know? Does your relative know this?
Yes.
Did they supply this?
Okay. All
right.
right.
All right, ready for number 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 3, when my relative was 3 years old, they could not only say their ABCs forward, but also could say them backward for fun.
Okay. Backwards for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if I could do that now.
Okay. So, Rob.
Yes.
I think I'm honing in on the relationship here. I think that this might be a parent of based on the knowledge of the ABCs at the age of 3, and also the conception part.
Yeah, they know a lot of info. Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay. All right. So knowing that, do any of these questions speak to you, Jenny?
I think
I like the question, is your claim to fame apparent?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was just talking through that, Chase. I was just talking that through with my partner, Jenny.
That's
here.
okay. I think it's a good question.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it does narrow a lot of things down for us. So
okay, and Chase, you answered in the affirmative.
Yes.
Okay. They are apparent.
Okay. Okay. So just like off the top of my head, I feel like I'm feeling like Mike Bloom. What like just throwing names out there. Please, Chase, do not give us any information one way or the other.
We will ask officially eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously when I think of our go-to people that are parents, Mike Bloom is up there. Do we know anything?
I feel like the apple would not fall far from the tree to be sharing some personal matters.
Do we know if Mike Bloom had ferrets? Have we ever heard of a ferret story in all of his time?
I don't recall him talking about ferrets.
I do feel like I could see him being able to do the ABCs forward and backward. I could see Mike Bloom being a very brilliant.
Is there another one of these questions that would give us?
Because who else do we have that are parents? Like has Jessica Lease been on RAANAP? Is she someone in the?
She has been on. Yeah.
Yeah, she has for sure. Okay, so okay, do we want to ask about? Is this the one where we ask about tattoos? Because we know Mike has tattoos.
Yes, but if the answer is yes, would that get us much closer to Mike, or would a no answer then at least get us off of Mike?
No would at least eliminate him from the.
Yeah, go ahead, Jenny.
So Chase, does your claim to fame have any tattoos?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Are you finding out about them right now?
But I think I misled you.
You misled on what?
Understood. I did not mean to imply that my relative is a parent. I'm sorry. If you got that.
Oh, so they are not a parent.
Okay. So, but and they do have a tattoo though.
Yes.
Okay, they have a tattoo.
Tattoo, not a parent. Okay.
But not a parent.
That changes everything.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry for that confusion.
Okay, that's fine.
We're at least getting the answers to these questions now. So, okay, I heard a y'all.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning like more Southern.
Okay.
I'm just trying to read accents here. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but as soon as I heard the y'all, I was like, it's definitely not Mike Bloom.
Okay. Do any of the other clues, magic school, band camp, bread, pink, and fever mean anything to you?
So I'm going to say, I think that at some point we might see a relative of Frail Mary. I don't know exactly what clue that would be. I could see her.
But does Mary have does Mary have a tattoo?
I don't know. She's someone that I could see having a tattoo, and it's just not an obvious one. So that's why I'm like not sure if that really helped. That would have helped if we were sure that they were parents.
Does she do the ABCs backwards for fun?
I mean, I don't know. Do we have any? So we used our questions, or are we going?
I don't think that Mary's parents would be announcing where she was conceived. I from what she's talked about from what
I think that we should keep
from some of her
mind.
childhood stories. I don't think she's that sounds like that would be.
Well, I don't know. You never know.
You never know. All right, so are we we're in free form, right? We get just
you're in free form.
Yeah,
you're in free form.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to guess soon.
All right. All right, Chase. Have you ever listened to any of our crazy podcasts?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Rob and Akiva need a podcast, or just Rob has a podcast?
But Rob and Akiva.
Okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. They have a tattoo. They aren't a parent. I don't know. Now I wish I knew so many other things.
Does this person have pets now?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I think you're cut off on the questions after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You could talk to them, I think, if you want. You could just, make banter, but
okay, but only statements.
You could how's your day going? Are the Mets gonna win today? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any leanings, Rob?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think of where Chase's accent could be, and if that could help lead us geographically into narrowing down. But it's tricky.
Yeah, I don't have any clue that's gotten me.
Keith, you're not gonna let us ask one more.
I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more question before you guess. Fine.
Okay.
Since you asked nicely.
What do you want it to be, Rob?
What
do you think would be more helpful?
Did we ask, is this person married?
We did not ask.
Is your claim to fame married, Chase?
My claim to fame is not married.
Okay.
Yet.
Not married. We're not married yet. Okay.
Yet.
Interesting.
Isn't Will from America engaged?
He is.
And I feel like he has done musical work on this podcast that I feel like if you would be proud. He's very, very talented. I would show my parents, listen, I will not show my parents most of the podcasting I do. But if I was Will from America producing the kind of content he has for this podcast, I would probably tell and I know he's got pets. I think he has a tattoo. You don't think so, Rob?
I really don't think it's Will from America.
Okay. I just think that I don't know. I don't know who it is if it isn't.
Do you have a guess, Rob?
I don't. I'm looking at the clues, and
should you guys have made a roster beforehand of like possible
probably.
names? Do you think that would have helped?
Maybe not.
No, I don't think
I wasn't
so.
expecting Chester.
No.
Neither was I. Yeah. So, I don't know. Could we see the person, and then
you don't want to? Well, why don't you guess first, and then you could see them, and you could do a re-guess after.
So, Rob, you really don't want to do. You don't want to do Will from America?
I really don't think it's Will from America. But if that's all we have, then I guess we could guess it.
They're not married yet. That makes me think they're in the very least they're in a committed partnership or engaged. And I'm trying to think of like who we know in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who else is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It might be one of those things where it's like, confirmation bias where I just like really think that that's the only name in my head right now. So I'm trying to find reasons to like justify it.
Right. Okay.
If you gone to your head, who would you guess, Rob?
I really don't have anybody.
You want to guess, and the person will reveal.
Okay, go for it, Jenny. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Chase. Jenny, you guess first.
Okay.
And then Chase, you will turn on your video, and you can tell them if they are right or wrong. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Rob, I'm sorry if this is wrong. We have nothing else to go on. Chase, is your claim to fame Will from America? The great Will from America.
Right. I would turn on my video if I could figure out how.
Okay.
It should say start video on the bottom somewhere.
Okay.
There should be a video thing. There's probably a mute button there.
Okay.
And
I found it.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Outside.
Who are you related to in the RHAP universe, Chase?
I am Will from America's mom.
Oh. Okay. Well, really, what threw me off the most was that I had breakfast with Will this morning.
We tricked you. We knew that.
Wow.
We knew that. We tricked you. It was gonna be his fiance, but you literally just saw her.
Mm-hmm.
So we pulled a little bit of a pulled a curveball on you today, Rob.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you got me.
Mm-hmm. Rob, I know where you are at all hours. I knew you were having lunch today, and I'm like, we're gonna get you with Will's mom.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
I do like you. It's funny because your other option was so close. Mary, Chase, do you know Mary? You know Will's friend Mary? That Mary is. They're both from Virginia, so
right.
Jenny nailed the y'all, and there aren't a ton of Southern podcasters. So I think
I know, but it didn't seem. I don't know. And again, I'm really
Texas
bad.
Can be y'all also. So
I'm Canadian, so I'm like trying to place because I don't know the accents super well, and so I was like, I don't know. Anyway,
so I'm gonna say that I think that the ferrets were true and the alphabet was true, and I think that you lied to us about the cruise ship.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. What was the lie, Chase?
Sadly, I wish I were, but no, the ferret. Every other pet growing up, but no ferrets.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the ferret was the lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh
Will sent me that one.
Know that this is
he does. He sent it to me.
What was the clue? Band camp?
Oh,
I'm not gonna say because we're getting low.
Okay, we can't. Okay,
I can't
say.
We're getting a little too low for me to just tell you who.
Okay, well, what do you think the clue was, Jenny? Band?
It could have been Bandcamp because he is musical, but
Oh, Pink Lemonade? Is that what it was? That's for the song of the summer. Was Pink Lemonade last summer?
Oh, okay. That's probably it.
All right, Mrs. from America. Just want to know we love your son very much. We appreciate you coming on.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for being a good sport today.
Yes. Okay.
Loves y'all, and I love listening to the music, of course, too. Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Y'all
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
you.
Bye. All right.
Okay.
Next. All right. So next up, let's do a quick one here while I get the next person up. Okay.
I'm feeling good. Rob, how you feeling?
Good.
Okay.
So here's the message I got. And it said, Guys, I'm the best man at a wedding today. I thought I could sneak away to do this, but the groom just ran out of gas, and I have to go get him and get a gas can from about 30 minutes
Oh,
away.
I thought they meant like figuratively.
Can we do my convo tomorrow? Okay.
No, we cannot.
Right.
Okay.
Well, so that was the message I got. I'm going to give you their stuff. Okay.
Okay.
We can see if we figure it out.
And this is the person speaking as themselves. I was once arrested for impersonating my RHAP podcaster relative to get out of illegal trouble.
I was arrested for impersonating them for legal. So this person was in legal trouble, and then this person, what a good friend, said, "Hey, I'm this person."
I think the podcaster was in legal trouble, and the guest got them out and got arrested for impersonating.
Okay.
Boy. Okay.
I lived off the grid in a structure called an earthship with no electricity or running water for 4 years.
Now, this is the best man.
This is the relative or the RHAP person?
This is the relative is saying it about themselves.
Okay. Well, what do we need clues about the person that we don't even know who they are?
What am I going to say? Respond to the person, say, sorry, we don't care about you.
I don't care that you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I just send us whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 3 is I donated a kidney to my RHAP podcaster relative.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I donated. Well, we know that.
So arrested.
Yeah. Jacob Redman donated a kidney to somebody else, but we don't know.
Right.
I donated a kidney to my RHAP relative. I think we don't. I mean, if this is huge, if true, that do we know of anybody that we podcast with or have spoken to that has gotten needed a kidney transplant? I feel like that we would hear about that.
Think are lies.
I think that the third one sounds like if this is it, like if this person has talked about it, I feel like we would know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? That would be like a well-known thing.
And if you guys want to ask me any questions, I will answer to the best of my ability.
Okay.
What
was it that they lived in? This person lived off the grid?
Grid in something called an earthship for 4 years.
An earthship for 4 years. I mean, do we know anybody that would live in an earthship? That would have friends with somebody that live in an earthship?
All I know is that when I just Googled the word earthship, one of the other keywords for the search was New Mexico.
Yeah. And so we just
Could be Roswell.
Yeah. We just did we had a sibling and a partner, and we talked to a parent.
Yes.
So the only things left are a sibling. I guess this could be a brother of who we're talking about, but I feel like I wonder if it's the mystery, if it's like a friend.
Right. Well, I hope there's no friends. Well,
I don't know.
Earthships don't work in Canada, apparently. Something that just came up in my. So maybe we know they're not in Canada. If we think the Earthship is real.
Who would do we know somebody that's getting arrested and somebody else is stepping in for them?
Do you think it's just it's got to be like a petty thing, or it's like a parking ticket or something?
Well, then why wouldn't this person just take the heat themselves?
I don't know.
All right.
Gotta be
Akiva, you have any other clues?
Yeah, ask me any questions. You can ask me any questions.
Okay.
I will answer.
Do we want to ask? Do we want to? Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna suggest if we ask if they're married.
Yes, good. That's what I was gonna say too.
Akiva.
Yes, they are married.
They are married.
Married. Okay. Somebody is married. This rapscallion.
Well, the rapscallion is.
To
be clear,
he's not married.
The person who lived in the starship we know is not the podcaster. It's
right. But the mystery person had to volunteer to get arrested for the person that we know.
That's true. That is true.
Okay, my guess
2 out of 3 chance, but yes,
it's definitely. I don't think it's a parent of it's. So we've got like you said, Rob, 2 siblings. I think this is a sibling situation, probably, unless I don't know what mystery is, but
I mean, this person lived in an earthship. So
they were the best man. What was the excuse?
They're a best man in a wedding today.
Okay. Okay. Who is married? And that would be Okay. I think I want to ask if their claim to fame. I actually kind of want to ask the sports fan.
Yes.
Because I think that we have a smaller group of sports fans than you might think.
All right.
I don't know.
I agree. As someone with a sports podcast in our world,
all right.
I think
So could how about this? Does is the claim to fame person a big sports fan?
No, the claim to fame person is not a big sports fan.
Okay. What do you think about Shut Up Tim?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of him, but do you think that there's a clue that points to him in the clue list?
Let's see. Magic School. He does love Harry Potter, but
Harry Potter guy?
bread. The ogres like ground up your body into bread.
Yeah, the bread clue is very confusing to me. Fever. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I am without an idea here.
Okay.
Want to ask one more question?
Probably.
Yeah. How about you want to ask the what do they like to do in the spare time?
Sure.
Okay. What does the claim to fame like to do in their spare time, Akiva?
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know.
Great. Okay, how about
the claim to fame?
question?
How about this? A little surprise. The claim to fame is in this room right now. They are going to reveal themselves because their person is not available. If the claim to fame can DM me the answer to the question of what do they do in their spare time, I will answer it. If not, ask a different question.
Wait, does that mean it's Sam?
No. There's another person in the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
You see, there's a fifth person in the Zoom.
What do you think?
Okay, I'll tell you what their answer was.
So the person is going to
this
reveal.
could help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Their answer was what spare time, and then they said I cook.
I cook.
Okay.
What spare time, and then they said I cook.
They are not a sports fan. They
Yes.
are married.
Yes.
I wonder if you had a list, if it would be easy. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily everyone could be on the list. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, we should have been given a
book
list
of every
possible person.
Then people would DM me and be like, "Was I on the list?"
All the people you contacted.
Just see, it should have been the Wheel of Podcasters.
Yeah, true.
Then, I feel like Shut Up Tim is as good as anything.
Okay, I'm fine with that if you're feeling good about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he not a big sports fan?
He's not.
Yeah.
Okay. You can unmute yourself and say if they are correct or incorrect, mystery guest. And again, this mystery guest is the family member is not the family member but the podcaster.
Okay.
Yes. It is.
It is. Well, let's just talk for a second because I don't know if they're listening.
They're a wooden floor.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little busy. Yeah. That is. Hello. All right. They guessed. Can you hear us? They guessed.
I can hear you. Yeah.
They guessed. Shut Up Tim. Are you Shut Up Tim?
I'm not Shut Up Tim.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Amanda.
Dr. Amanda. So hold on. So the person that is your claim to fame is the best man in a wedding today, and then
it's my sister. I don't know why she's the best man.
Yeah, she is the best man in a wedding. I said it was a wild message.
Yeah,
that really message.
that threw us off.
Why? Yeah, if you had heard, if it was maid of honor, you would have thought it was Amanda.
I mean, I would have been thinking it was
Amanda
a woman.
Doesn't have any brothers.
Well, hold on. When it was that again, hey, look, it's 2022.
I agree. I don't want to say anything.
When I heard it was that I'm the best man in a wedding today, I didn't think it was going to be some.
It's the relative. The relative's the best man.
Right, and Amanda's saying that the relative is her sister.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you don't. But the point is, you don't know if Amanda has a brother or sister. You were just guessing for Amanda.
Maybe we did,
but I wasn't. I wasn't even thinking that it was going to be.
No, this was a hard.
I'm sorry,
Listen.
my sister flaked, but I'm at my kid's birthday party right now.
Yes, you could go. Please go. Please go.
Yes,
Amanda, we appreciate
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Bye, bye, guys.
So
not supposed to come on.
What were the clues?
I believe the Earthship thing was right. The kidney was fake. She did, I guess, get arrested for Amanda once.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ask Amanda about that.
Yeah. No, we have a lot of follow-up
I just
questions.
that one when we said it was the best man.
Listen.
I was only thinking of men and.
But why? Well, I'm but best man, male relatives. You're saying, but you don't know.
Right, but we were talking about siblings, but that
she could have a brother.
But I wouldn't think of her brother if there was getting arrested for Amanda. I didn't think that the police would take her brother into custody. Like here's Amanda Rabinowitz. Let me take my mugshot.
When you said, are they a sports fan? My immediate no, when I didn't know the answers to the questions beforehand, could have also been a giveaway because she's maybe the most anti-sports.
Well, I was thinking shut up Tim is not.
He's also anti-sports.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually you might have been. I hear what you're saying, but listen, she was supposed to be our first guest. She was on the fly.
So what was her clue? Magic school, band camp.
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. We're down.
I know. But for me and Jenny, we can look at it.
Yeah. You of course.
Okay.
What was what's the clue? Magic school, band camp.
I don't think it's magic school. I don't think it's
bread.
Band camp.
Is it because she could? And fever.
Is it because she's a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe fever.
I feel like that's
she's not a medical doctor, but I don't, you know what I mean?
Really
she studied brain stuff. So I don't know.
She cooks. Does she cook bread?
She's she's a baker. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So are we having a real person here or
real person? Okay.
Woo.
Okay.
For those of you scoring at home, we have one real person, then we'll have 2 audio clips, and then we'll move on to the mailbag. You having fun, Rob?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I'm having a great time. What about
Jenny,
me, Akiva?
Jenny, I know you're having a good time because I wasn't nervous about you having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm always having a good time, baby.
You're having a good time. Exactly. Rubble, you can unmute now and give your 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
See, some people listen to my Paw Patrol name thing.
Righty. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Thank you,
Yes.
Rubble.
Okay. Number 1, I podcasted on RHAP. Number 2.
Hold on.
Okay.
So you, the person that we are talking to, you have been on a podcast on RHAP.
Correct.
Okay.
Number 2, I dyed and permed my hair to match Lucille Ball's when I was 10.
You did or the mystery person did?
Correct. I did.
Okay. But we don't know you. Okay.
Well, maybe we do.
Let's
Maybe we
see.
do.
Podcasting.
Okay.
Number 3, I randomly met Pauly Shore at a bar and hung out with him and my friends till 3 a.m.
So you met Pauly Shore. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
And hung out with him until 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And now this is all very
When
interesting
did that
about
happen?
you. Yes.
That happened about 5
Rob.
years ago.
Yes.
5 years
Yes, Akiva?
No. I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
Okay. So okay.
So who do we know that knows a person that knows Pauly Shore?
What do you think is the lie, Rob?
That I mean, I don't think anybody's meeting Pauly Shore 5 years ago.
I did. It was great.
What do you mean? You think Pauly Shore is like Richard Simmons, just not coming out anymore? No one can meet them?
I think he's coming out. I don't think anybody wants to meet him.
Got it.
Pauly Shore walks into a bar. You're not going to go up to him and talk?
Like, hey, Pauly.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've met him. Okay.
Pauly wants to talk about Pauly.
Yeah. Okay.
Where does Pauly Shore live?
I'm gonna guess he has like a huge house in California.
Yeah, I mean he lives in California.
Okay.
But does he tour? Okay. So Jenny, do you have any questions from the list?
I mean, I guess it just depends on whether we think that the lie about podcasting on being on a podcast on RHAP is true or not, because I think that we can probably narrow down pretty quickly if we think that that's true and then base our questions around that. But if you think that that's very possible, like possibly a lie, then we maybe ignore that. I don't know.
Okay.
I did have a thought. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know if this is in relation to this particular person, but maybe something to talk about and keep in mind going forward. The clues. So we've been discussing the magic school, that being probably a Harry Potter thing. Do we think that there is a chance and that perhaps so the real weird sisters, is it possible that we have one of the real weird sisters? And that's where it's like kind of a trick, because it's like they podcasted with the sibling, because it's the real weird sisters.
I don't know. That would be a trick for sure.
I'm maybe getting a little
OG guess.
All right, let me ask, does I'd like to ask if their claim to fame has a child.
Okay, go for it.
Yes, I do have children. Yes.
But does your
claim to fame have a child?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think of podcasters who might have had a relative on the podcast. I get the sense, Jenny, and tell me if I'm wrong, this seems like this is a podcaster's parent.
Okay.
Are you feeling that?
Possibly.
Okay.
But
I need to rewind.
Well, hold on. I'm going to say something right now.
Okay.
I'm going to make it a little clear. All right. I was intended for a little chaos.
We love when things are clear.
Okay. Well,
when you confuse, you lose.
Okay. No, this was always intended to start a little chaotic. This guest, and now maybe this
mission accomplished.
Yes. This guest's claim to fame is themselves. They are not a relative. They are the mystery person. This guest's claim to fame is themselves. They have been talking about themselves. There's a person who has been on Rob and Akiva podcast, and they are talking about themselves.
So is this the list of relationship? This is the mystery.
This is the mystery. Yes, correct.
Okay.
So now let's go over what we know. Okay.
They have podcasted on RHAP.
They've podcasted on RHAP. I will say that is true.
Well,
because it has to be for the purpose. Here. I don't.
Okay.
And then the other two truths and a lie, and then so they are a parent.
Okay.
Now,
they are a parent.
What I want the two of you to do is try and figure out. So maybe a little different, because try and figure out who this person is. What episodes have they been on? Who is this person? They have been on Robin.
They've podcasted on RHAP or RAANAP.
RAANAP. They have been on RAANAP.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Can we hear Can we hear you talk again?
Yeah. Just.
Yes. Yeah. No. We have podcasted, and I mean, I don't want to give too much away. I have a good hint, if or when you are ready.
Okay.
I don't think I'm ready for that hint yet.
Okay. Yeah, we're not ready.
I'll decide. You can email me.
You're
I'll
right.
decide if it's a good hint.
Okay. You lead the way.
All right.
But now, do you have any questions? I think this is fun. Let's try and narrow it down.
Well, this is not somebody who is regular. Like this is not somebody that I have podcasts with a lot.
Correct.
You'd probably recognize them if they've been on. If they had a 5-timers club hat, you'd probably recognize
the voice. Has this person only appeared on RAANAP and not RHAP, like in another form?
Yeah.
Can you answer?
RAANAP.
Okay. I didn't know the answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of 5-timers hat, Jenny, you got your hat, right?
I got it. I've been waiting for like a good face day and hair day to like take a picture in it.
You look great every day, Jenny.
Thank you. Maybe today's the day. Maybe I'll take the picture. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so tricky. I'm really bad with voices too. Like I'm a visual person, so
yeah. Do you live in Canada?
No.
Okay.
But good question.
Okay.
So this is someone that's been on RAANAP, and Akiva, you were saying more than once?
No, I did not say that.
Okay.
I said between 1 and 4 times. They're not in the 5.
One in.
Well, I'm just saying because I said they're not in the 5-timers club.
Right. But I feel like it would be so weird. No offense to anyone here. I just feel like it would be very bizarre, Akiva, for you to have someone that like is not in the RHAP universe and has only been like a one-time RAANAP. Like,
first of all, I do bizarre stuff all the time. So
yeah, that's a good point. You know what?
Bless his heart, Jenny.
Bless his heart, because it's like he's not gonna make it easy for us.
Yeah. Do you know a lot of names of babies?
And I know where you're going with this. I would say no.
Okay.
Good thinking, Rob, but the answer is no. Oh my gosh.
Have we ever met in person?
We have not.
Okay.
Do you want to ask them what? And I don't know. Do you want to ask them what year or years they appeared on the podcast?
Is that question? That's for us.
I'm asking you if you want to ask.
Yeah. What
suggesting questions?
Yeah. What year or years did you appear on the podcast?
I appeared earlier on. I'd say within the first 40 episodes, maybe like 2019-ish.
Okay.
2019-ish.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. All right. Did you go on a date?
I did not.
Okay.
Imagine, because she said she had kids. Imagine she went on a date and then like had kids with the person on the, that would be wild.
That'd be a good story. Yeah.
Yeah. Then would heaven straight up for us, Rob.
Wow.
I'm like looking at the list.
This isn't Craigslist Carl, is it? No, we met in person.
No, because the person is
like 5 people suggested to get like a parent of Craigslist Carl. The problem with doing that is like, especially like once you get older, you can't be like, hey, do you have like a parent or someone who can come on the podcast? Like, what if someone doesn't have parent? You know what I mean? It's like,
that's the only thing that would have been weird.
That's the only weird part about like, and also I don't really have a way to contact. I think Hippaya Claire is social media friends with him, but I don't really have a lot of contact.
Let's see.
I
don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the early, like, what was the name? There was like a patron on the rise and fall of JTT. Because I'm just thinking of like some of like the guests.
Should I look at the old podcasts?
You can look at them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I
can
feel
look
like
at
that's
the list
allowed.
of podcasts. Absolutely. It is allowed.
Okay.
It is allowed.
All right. From the first 30 or so. I mean, I think if I look it up, I think
you think you're gonna get it?
Maybe if I look at the list. Let's see.
I don't think that's. I think given where we're at with things here, looking at like 2019.
Let's see.
Oh my goodness, this is.
This isn't
one. I tried to mix it up a little bit. Tried to mix it up. There's only one like this. This is the mystery one. Can I give you their clue?
I was gonna say that I hope this isn't Maddie, who's now an adult.
Oh my God.
But
that would be a great reveal.
Yeah,
I would not be. I would be shocked.
If you have kids, He
really grew up fast.
Well, I did. People did suggest Maddie, but I think that would have been too easy. And then we've met Maddie's whole family already.
Did you go on the Oregon Trail with us?
Oh,
I sure did.
Oh,
wow.
This is Lindsay from the Oregon Trail.
Oh my God.
Lindsay from episode 45 of RAANAP. Rob and Akiva go on the Oregon Trail.
45?
Back from my death of fever.
Oh, so
that
was her clue. Her clue was fever.
It all makes sense now.
Wait, but hold on. I got the whole gang back together. Look who's here.
What?
Yes.
Person, you can put on your video also. Lindsay, you can put your video on now.
Hello.
Hi,
Lindsay.
Nice to see you again.
Did you ever manage to get across the United States?
Still have not managed.
Lindsay, could you tell us about Pauly Shore?
Yeah.
That true? Actually was my lie. That happened to my husband's coworker, though.
Okay.
So it could have been true.
Yes.
Did you get the story like secondhand?
Yes.
Was it wild?
He was by himself in a bar and wanted to go out with everyone all night long.
Your husband or Pauly Shore?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore was down to party.
Yes.
Yes.
I fully believe it.
Yes. Pauly Shore loves Pauly Shore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am like, I didn't expect this. And especially because when I was like trying to think of like the sibling or like the, like, you know, some sort of relation, I was like, who has had their like sibling or relative on RHAP? And
I was like, is this Liana's sister?
Yeah. I was like, it's
is this Maggie Morgan's mom? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That would have been a good one.
For the record, I also wasn't sure how I fit in all of this. Just kind of like the Oregon Trail, but I did, and here I am.
Yes.
Well, we were expecting Akiva to have someone who was literally the person. Like that was the
his mind. Yeah.
Anyway, Puya. So Puya's joining us. Hi, Puya.
Hello. Hi, Puya.
So Puya,
got the gang back.
We got the whole gang back together from the Oregon Trail because
Let's get the band back together from August 19th, 2019.
Oh, it's almost to the
year.
Yeah. Or to
Oh, wow.
So
3 years.
What happened was I was going to have you come and help them because they were struggling with most of our claim to fames are relatives of the person. But Rob loves
show works.
Rob loves curveballs.
Yes.
Sounds like
Lindsay has her own claim to fame, and I thought you maybe could help them guess, but Rob just guessed.
We haven't finished Claim to Fame, the show yet, and I'm not sure if eventually we're going to find out that Logan himself is the country artist that we
Season 2, I think it's going to be like some celebrities in like Masked Singer style costumes as themselves or something.
Yep.
Like the Borat type, like you can't tell it's them.
Like the who?
You know, like not the Borat show where he like dresses up as other people. They're going to be in like crazy Made in America, This Is America, whatever his show is.
Oh, Borat?
But by Sacha Baron Cohen, whatever. Well, we've lost the plot here.
Borat?
I thought he said O-Rod, and I was like, are you talking about Olivia Rodrigo?
And I was like,
Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen, that the America show where he like dresses up and it's like clearly not a real person, but you can't tell who it is. Anyway.
Akiva, you keeping me on my toes as usual.
Yes.
All right, this is going great. I just want to let you know we're crushing it.
I'm happy to hear it. I can't wait to listen. Should be good.
It's gonna be so good.
Are we doing should we do Oregon Trail the sequel? I think we're doing it, right? We're gonna
I believe that there was gonna be somebody was going to be
Daniel
vetting
Schiffman
the
is
game.
We're
making it.
Building an Oregon Trail game. So the five of us, maybe we'll be back in a room together at some point.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Okay.
That'd be great.
That's a teaser.
Lindsay, what else has been going on?
Yeah, what do you have to plug, Lindsay?
Nothing. I had 2 kids since then, and
wow,
that's been a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm locked in a closet right now, and it's pretty peaceful.
That's what Rob used to have to do.
I know.
It's pretty great.
Okay. All right. Well, happy to know that you're still going out there.
Yeah.
Let's hope for a better result in the next Oregon Trail mission.
And by the way, she was fever because she died of a fever.
Yeah.
No, we got that. We got that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm busy producing. I'm talking to 6 people at once here. I can't expect me to listen to the podcast.
Is this your greatest work, Akiva?
Well, we'll leave that to the comments.
Leave that. I'm
sure that they will decide. Yeah, they will chime in regardless.
Lindsay / Rubble, really appreciate it. Thank you,
Lindsay.
And we'll hopefully see you in the.
This had a lot of Dave Matthews, King of the Mat.
Yes.
Feel for it.
That's what we're always going for.
Thank you.
Sure.
I love it. I love it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay. Booyah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Do you have a minute to stay with us for the next person? They're audio only.
Sure.
When I saw Puya's name pop up and then it got changed to unknown, I was like, did Akiva bring Puya on as Liana's claim and he thinks that we're not gonna know it's Puya. This is what I expect from Akiva at this point.
Rob, play the audio full relative 1.
Okay, where am I getting that?
I emailed it to you. Okay. On when we transferred. Anyway.
Okay.
This has been delightful.
It's been a delight. We had one person completely no show. The other ones I thought went very well. I thought the other family members in person went well. I'll say this was the hardest episode of the book. It was hard to get relatives who were
how many people
on Saturday
straight up said no. You can't talk to my family.
The $75 patrons, I will give you the full list of everyone who said do not contact my family.
Okay. I have not gotten
I'll say one of them.
We transfer. Got it.
One of them I was told was the hardest no I've ever heard in my life. Somebody else asked for me.
Somebody was absolutely not.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I know who it was.
But we got some no's, but more than the no's, it was a lot of that's really cool, but they're not available on a Saturday. And it's like one of the last Saturdays in the summer. We're podcasters. We're mostly indoors people. A lot of the other folks, the normies, they're outdoors people. They're like the beach. They're on vacation. It's the last, Saturday in August or whatever.
All right.
Not everyone's just at home.
All right. You ready for full relative 1?
Full relative 1. And you could stop if you want between the 3 truths. This is just the 3 truths and lies.
Hey, Rob and Akiva, here are my 2 truths and 1 lie. I have been mentioned on the podcast multiple times.
Okay.
My favorite reality show is Below Deck.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show that my family member podcasts about.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This is Brian Cohen's mom, Plainview Sue.
Yes. This is Plainview Sue. That was an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you know it? Just the Long Island accent? You got it?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Plainview Sue before?
No, I've never. But
I didn't know you hadn't spoken to
her. She's been talking about on the podcast.
Yeah, I think that was it. The mention of been talking about on the podcast.
Well, I don't think Jenny would have got that in 2 seconds. Like you got it. I don't think I would have gotten it in 2 seconds. Like you got it. Did you know right away, Puya? That was Plainview Sue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I had a feeling. I had a gut feeling that there was going to be someone related to Brian Cohen.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
just
and then, what is the clue that related to Brian Cohen? Magic school, band camp, or bread? Does Brian Cohen?
Is Magic school supposed to be the bus?
We think that it's like Harry
and
Potter.
He was
Hogwarts,
bus driver's route. That was his.
I think so.
Oh,
I think so. I think that's what it is.
Puya, you guys should have had Puya on your team. He's very good.
Yeah,
he's good at this stuff. Okay,
I've been put through a lot of Masked Singer. Trust me.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
that's true. It's a very similar and unique skill set.
Okay, so Amanda Rabinowitz, that her clue was either band camp or bread.
Yeah. All right. So the last one. Let's wrap this up. Let's play these Truth or Lie 1, play Truth or Lie 2, Truth or Lie 3, and then afterwards we have a video reveal on this one.
Okay. All right. Here's Truth or Lie 1.
My relative had a pet turtle named Little Bow Wow growing up.
Okay, I love
my
that.
relative
pet turtle.
Okay.
Named Little Bow Wow growing up.
Little Bow Wow.
Turtle named Bow Wow.
That's a great name for a
My
turtle.
relative has 4 siblings.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Could be me.
Could be.
Okay.
My relative has a child on the way.
Okay.
Oh.
Hmm.
And Rob, when you play the video reveal, can you play it for the podcast?
Play it on this screen.
Yeah.
I can work on that.
Okay, fine. But in the meantime, all right, talk about it, and I can answer questions. Sam Moore said he'll do it. By the way, he'll play the video.
Okay, great. All right. So, all right. Some questions. So then, okay, let's just going back to. So we heard from 2 parents. This is it sounds like this is a sibling based off of. Okay. So, do
we want to ask?
Yeah. How about that? How about this? Is this person a big sports fan?
I guess these are yes or no questions. I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think it's hilarious that we like made fun of the sports question and we've actually utilized it like quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so I have to think. So Rob, let's talk through the baby on the way.
Yeah.
So
that I think is the lie.
You think that's a lie for sure?
Yes. I'm not for sure. I think it's
because I mean it could be someone like they're like someone's wife, and so we don't know.
So
maybe
my I guess just working up top of my head that could the person be Chappelle? Puya, how many siblings does Chappelle have?
See, I thought Chappelle from the beginning as well, with the turtle. I think he could have 4, but I don't know the exact number is the problem.
I recently did a shot over FaceTime with Chappelle in the presence of his brother. Like if he has at least a brother.
He does have at least a brother, because I do know about that.
Because the brother was working at the bar that Chappelle was at as Phil and I did a FaceTime shot with him. So we were introduced through FaceTime to the brother.
That's fun.
But I don't know how many siblings Chappelle has.
Rob, you ever doing FaceTime shots with people? I feel like nobody's.
I've never done a FaceTime shot with people. I think
we can get you in on Shot O'Clock anytime.
I think I've done very few shots since FaceTime was invented. So I would say, 99% of the shots I've taken in my life were before the invention of FaceTime.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can change that, Rob.
Yeah, I guess so. Then let's see. So is there any question that we could ask that would make it like dead to rights on I would like to ask them, what's your favorite musical artist of the person?
Do you have the answer to that, Akiva?
I feel like that's fun to have Akiva answer that.
Could be Jack Fox. Don't come on camera like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Fox.
Could you it's yes and no questions?
Can I ask Yosef? Yosef just walked in.
Does this person like British rap?
I don't know. Can you ask a different question? I just don't know their favorite musical artist. I can reach out, but I don't know if I'll get an answer.
Okay.
Should we ask the climate one, Rob?
Okay. Does this person live in a warm or cold climate, Akiva? We have a list of questions, Puya, that we have to work on.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're not coming up with these ourselves.
Yeah.
They could never come up with something good. If I have to choose warm or cold, I will say warm.
Are you saying it like that because you don't know? Like is it debatable?
No. It's a binary question. It's warm.
Okay.
I think you have
He's so confusing.
North Carolina. Would you say warm or cold? That's
I would
warm,
say it's
right?
I would say if it was warm or cold, I'd say warm. But I feel like that's like the middle, like the
states,
middle of the country.
That's what I'm saying.
But Houston isn't like debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who would have been a kid around the time that Lil Bow Wow was relevant enough that they would have a turtle named after?
What was peak Lil Bow Wow, Like Mike, is that when? So when did that movie come out?
Like Mike. Not that.
Like 2003?
2002 release date.
There we go.
So, okay.
You're like,
okay. I want to ask what decade they were born in.
Okay.
That's a good one. That can give it.
That is a good one. I don't know anybody's age. I just know I'm older than all these people.
Well,
I'm gonna say 1990s.
See, I don't even think. Here's the
But I
thing:
could be wrong. I
if
could be
we're
wrong.
thinking of Chappelle, maybe I shouldn't be giving. Well, I know that Chappelle is late 80s.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that too. So I feel like that takes him out of the equation.
But I also can see Akiva
know.
not knowing that because he's so
Yeah.
borderline 80s, 90s that I could see.
Like I didn't know the answer for Melissa. Like I'll say I know Jenny's age because we're born the exact
We've
same day.
discussed our
What if you like Chester could do the decades from the 5s instead of the zeros?
From the 5s, then yes. 85 to 95, certainly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Can we just guess Chappelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
What's it? What would you say? Sorry, Noam came over and asked me a question about.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and guess Chappelle.
Okay. Let's see. Sam, can you play the video, please?
Okay. We have a video clue, and let's hear from
My
this
relative is my brother.
Yes!
Chappelle.
Thank you.
Great
Yes.
Chappelle
Only
video.
What did
5.
Chappelle say at the end?
Something about thank you, my little brother.
Yes.
Want to play it again?
Yeah.
There he is.
Thank you, my little brother.
Okay. Yes.
I
and
love it.
And we're gonna hope that the lie is have a baby on the way. Otherwise, congratulations, Chappelle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to text him after this.
Yes.
We
Baby's
would've-
it's like I only have
I
3
only
siblings,
know.
but I am gonna be a dad.
I know he frequently mentions like a brother, but he never says like I've got all these brothers.
Or it's like, no, I never had a turtle named Bow Wow.
Right, that's the lie.
Mhm.
Or it wasn't Little Bow Wow, it was Lil Bow Wow, I think.
All right,
Not
wow.
little Bow.
Well,
very, very pedantic lie.
what a great job, Akiva.
What an episode.
You
Yes.
did a wonderful job, Akiva.
What an
You had to
episode.
do so much.
It was a
and
lot
I'm
of
so
work this
proud of
week.
you. I'm
Jenny?
so proud of you.
Jenny, I know I'll never be validated like that from Rob, so it really means a lot for you.
You were having to deal with producing, like having the flow of this while it's happening, coordinating the guests as they were coming in, as they were not coming in and giving excuses.
Yeah. I definitely should have had somebody helping me with that, but I was able to focus on the podcast.
Yeah, you handled it as well as anyone could.
And I appreciate it. I said my goal was for you to get some and not get some, and that's what happened. You got a lot of them. You didn't get the audios were a little too easy, but at the end of the day, I could a little cameo guest appearance right now on the podcast.
Someone just came home from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Phil T citing for the audio only.
People. Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. So you ready to move on to the mailbag?
Yes. All right.
So you guys got 5 out of 7, I think. That's pretty good.
I think we did
so
very well.
Chappelle's clue was Bandcamp. Why was Amanda's clue bread?
She likes baking bread. She thought you would know that. Amanda's original clue was characters. You're gonna hate this. Because she used the podcast about psych and they were always like characters welcome. So it was characters. I don't think as she pointed out correctly, you would never have gotten that.
Yes.
Rob is not going to know a food related clue.
True. But she does post about bread. I thought that was actually too easy. Chappelle's Bandcamp, he was like in the marching band in
now
in college at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And the other ones we figured out.
Yeah, the other ones you already figured out. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wait, so who is the Magic School?
Brian
that's
Cohen.
Puya Clock. That one. It was bus driver.
I
thought that was good.
I was so stuck on the Harry Potter thing that I was like, it's gotta be. And then when you had someone that you're like, they said that they had been on the podcast. That's when I got onto the real weird sisters of it all. I was like, oh, imagine he just has like Martha or Alice, and like that's the trick. Anyway, he went way off.
I think with Lindsay, we were just using the wrong sort of pronouns for themselves, like to make, make it. So I knew I was going to stop in. I just didn't know at what point I was going to stop in.
Tricky guy.
Yeah.
You ready? You want to switch to the mailbag? Is the mailbag going to be on video?
Do you not want it to be?
It can be. I just need to plug in my computer.
Okay. All right. So let's take our break, okay, for the mailbag, and then we'll come back. Jenny, are you staying for the mailbag?
I'll stay for the mailbag if I can. Take a quick little break here.
Yes, I have a feeling it's going to be a tight mailbag.
All right.
Absolutely.
Love that.
It's late.
Yeah. All right. Puya, are you staying or you have a life?
Hey, if you'll have me, I'm watching boxing on the side, but please.
What are you watching, boxing?
Yeah, there's a YouTube boxing.
I think that you're watching Bosch on the side.
Bosch.
Like Chris Bosch?
No, like on Prime Video.
They remade Bosch.
Yeah. All right.
Sean Clements, who's been on the podcast before, named his dog Bosch because he likes Bosch so much. The show.
Oh my God.
And he had the guy, he had the star from the show do a podcast and invited Bosch on stage. Bosch did a podcast with the dog Bosch.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take our break for the mailbag. We'll be right back after this.
It's the remix jingle, time for another. Just like the sequel to How I Met Your Mother. Robin Kiwi need a podcast, it's pretty established. Could have any guest like
Tiffany Haddish.
They could take the podcast to great heights, appearing on Seth Meyers. The king of late night, you've given me and Phil hours of laughs. Cause we know that you watched the whole 2 hours of Cats. What? I can't believe how painful it is. I really, really wish that you were taking the piss. That means joking around. That's just British slang. Just spin the wheel as fast and furious as you can. It's sublime. I'm running out of things to say when I'm writing these lines. My name's Jack Fox, but I think that it's time to pass the mic to Phil T to spit some rhymes. Go ahead.
Okay, it's Phil and Jack Fox. Rob and Kiwi got games like Jack Fox. It's Rob and Akiva need a bing bang. Rob and Akiva need a
good job. Right.
So now it's me, Phil T. So pull up a chair and listen to Akiva talk about how he picked up a spare. Come to Rob and Akiva for barrels of banter. Not Lizzie McGuire, but I'm dumping a wanker. If you don't go and leave a 5-star review, you can catch these hands back to Timbuktu. Watching S3 7 on HBO. If you hate, then it's L plus ratio. They've gone and watched Seinfeld. They've yet to watch Ska. I'm talking to my 2 dads. Well, where's my mom? Where's my mom, dads? Dads, where's my mom?
Yeah, that's right. Time for the mailbag here.
I think that's the second time in my life I've ever heard that at 1X.
Yes.
Felt like I was moving in slow-mo. It was incredible.
Slow-mo. Yeah. Okay. Akiva, how you holding up? You out of gas? Like Amanda's sister's groomsman?
Groomsman. I'm not out of gas. I'm having a great time.
But
we are going to do a little bit of a quick mailbag today, just because I was with some of my wife's relatives last week, and they asked a lot of questions about the podcast.
Yeah.
And then, like, anytime somebody asks me how long it is, because this is a person who doesn't know our world, and then they're like trying to get into it, then I'm like, I wonder if like the podcast being like 2 hours 45 minutes is an impediment to new people following. So I think we should keep it under 2:44. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny to say that, but no, I want to keep the podcast long. Don't start writing in.
Okay.
I want to go straight into the first mailbag idea, because we got one from one of our guests today.
Number 1.
So if you went straight to the mailbag and didn't listen to the episode, you might get spoiled on the episode. Should they go back? Should they go back and listen right now, Rob?
I mean, they're here.
If they skipped the episode and went straight to the mailbag, do you think that they're going to care about?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just warning them.
They didn't listen to it.
What if some people want to know what happens next week first, so they like listen to the mailbag first?
If you're mailbagging first, pause.
Yeah. Pause.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from Lindsay, our Oregon Trail fifth wheel.
Yeah.
And she says, or maybe she was the first wheel. I don't know. I was the fifth wheel. She says, Rob and Akiva, would you rather? Submissions from the listener on would you rather ideas. A great opportunity for some fun banter without guests.
Okay.
Do you want to answer would you rather questions?
Yeah. I read a wild comment of that somebody again, I don't like to give fuel to this sort of stuff, but somebody posted after last week's episode. I read a comment that said,
"Yeah,
you know, the episodes with Rob and Akiva, just them, they really need a guest. They really need a third person." That's like, it's like, well, you know, I don't
usually
really
get the
I don't really
opposite comment,
care,
right?
Yeah,
I can the other way around.
The opposite I can understand,
Yeah.
but it's like, I don't really care for these two people.
You know, I love
but as
Jenny
long
and
as
Puya.
there's like any other person that's talking, then I like this show.
Yeah, it's true.
Rob and Akiva and blank need a podcast.
Yeah, it's you know what I don't like about Rob and Akiva need a podcast. Rob and Akiva,
the guests, they're fire.
The guests are really good.
I like their friends.
Yes.
Them, not so much.
I like the people that come on the podcast, but not really them.
This is why I listen. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. This is why you can't really listen on any podcast. They're like, because 95% of people think the opposite, or not 95, but if we're gonna get one of those two comments, usually it would be the opposite. It's like, hey, I like when it's the two of them.
Sure.
And it's like, so now it's like, oh, this person says it. I'm sure it got downvoted, but I just think it's whatever. Everyone likes their own.
I just
thing.
thought that was an interesting
It was
observation.
very funny.
Yes.
It was funny.
Anyway, okay. So I do feel like that this is a pretty like high floor episode.
Yep.
Puya, is that too basic? Rob and Akiva, would you rather?
It could be, but also, you know, some of your more basic ideas have been very fun ones. So that would be the counter argument there. I think but it is content dependent. It depends on the would you rathers. If it's would you rather eat a salad or eat a soup, that's not titillating. To me.
Yeah. The reason it's appealing is because it is basically like an easy topic for you guys, like easy production of banter. Like, so it's not a high concept idea. It doesn't take a lot of thought or coordination. It just gives you something to riff on together, which is like probably a lot of people's favorite kind of episode. And so I think that from that perspective, it totally makes sense. But I agree with what Puya is saying, where you really want to make sure that like the categories or whatever you're debating are quality, because that I think it's really dependent on that.
Rob, you know, we play sometimes at the Shabbat table. My family will play this game, Would You Rather, with the younger kids, which is like, would you rather, you know, like your hands have webs like a duck, or every time you speak, you have to, you know, quack for the rest of your life? We'll do stuff like that.
Yeah. It's fun with kids.
And my kids will always be like, would you rather like step on a thumbtack for the rest of your life, or have to eat like a bagel that you don't like a raspberry bagel or something? Like, it's never equal stuff, you know?
There's an art to coming up with these, which is why I think that you would need someone externally to like come up with them and have somebody check them to make sure that they're good. Because you don't want it to be so ridiculous or so basic. Like there is a sweet spot where it's like actually worth debating. And I think
like it's a fun idea. I don't think it could last 90 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a full episode of by the third one, we'd be like, I don't know. It's also a lot of work for us. We have to like try and be funny the whole time. There's like stuff going on. We don't always have
it's not a lot of work for me.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's I think a fun banter idea, but it's not inspired.
I agree.
You know, could we punch up? Like, what's sort of
we
like
ask the listeners? Could we like call up? Let's say we like did a call the listeners episode, and we ask them and sort of banter with them. Like, hey, we call them up. Like, hey, would you rather, you know, change your name to like Quackleberry, or you know, have to carry a table for the rest of your life?
No offense to the listeners, but I just don't think that
they can improv
care
or whatever.
As much.
Yeah. Fair.
I think they care more about the two of you debating it.
Yeah. Is there anything to like, if we did it like sort of like as a two-part episode, like it would come out as one episode, but part one would be us writing would you rather questions and then putting out the survey and then reading what the listeners said to our would you rathers?
Yeah, I think that's actually better. I think that's a better punch up.
Like we're coming up with, like we can get like listener submitted ones. We could talk about is that a good would you rather, and like
we put like
10.
15 on the board or something.
Yeah, and then we put out the survey and then find
it's like
out
a census. It's like a would you rather census.
It's like a mini census. What do you think of
and
that?
I think it's better when you're finding ones that like one of you feel particularly strong about one and the other one feels strong about the other. Because it's not fun if you guys are agreeing on like, oh, it's definitely this one. Like,
yeah. And we kind of like get like the best of like both worlds. Like, would you rather spend like a month in the metaverse or like, like
what about the serververse?
The serververse.
We watched the Space Jam 2.
Oh, I do not remember one thing from.
Wow.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah,
watch a lot of things.
Yeah, from Space Jam 2.
No, do you have a good would you rather for us? I always get nervous with kids talking live on the podcast. Do you have a good? What do you think about it? And come back in a minute, okay? Yeah. By the way, Chappelle's favorite musical artist, Gucci Mane. He says.
Ah.
See, if you had said Gucci Mane, I would have 100% known that it was Chappelle. He tweets about Gucci Mane all the time.
Gucci Mane made the list. Yeah,
not the list. The favorite.
Yeah,
no,
number one.
That actually would have been the giveaway for me. I don't know anyone that tweets about Gucci Mane besides
British rap
Chappelle.
Unfairly. So if you'd said no to that, that would have given it away too for me.
Yeah, but again, I think that Akiva wasn't picking up on that. And then I was really hoping that Akiva knew when Chappelle was born because that also would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Noam has a would you rather. Do you want to say it?
Okay.
Okay.
What's your would you rather?
Walk on your head. Every time you want to talk, you have to sing the whole ABC.
Walk on your head. So you could only walk on your head. I mean, I literally can't do that. So it's kind of like a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
So you do the ABCs, like the full ABCs before you can start your thought.
Anytime you start a thought, you have to sing the full. I mean, it would be very annoying, honestly, for the rest of your life.
I would speak a lot less, which I think would probably make people happy.
I think we'd all basically really only have to say essential things.
But I don't think I could walk on my head.
That's a problem. No, I'm your head like most people can't. He says that you have to do the ABCs, but no,
yeah. Okay.
Can you even walk on your head? Can you even walk on your head?
Lord, please don't try, Noam. Please.
Yeah,
he's
be
like
careful.
He's like
be careful.
He's like my kid who's most like me. So I'm gonna guess no.
Yes. Okay. So Akiva, do we like this enough to put it on the wheel, or do you want to? Do you think? Okay.
I'm close to it. Honestly,
I think it's close. Like, could we potentially tweak it at all? Like, I'm always looking for what is that last final thing that like perverts it enough into being something that would be distinctly RAANAP.
Yeah, I think it's close. If we put it on the wheel, I wouldn't be like.
Yeah, hold on. Do you know you keep muting yourself?
Yeah, because this kid keeps asking me what kind of eggs I want, which is very nice.
Yeah.
What kind of eggs
What's
do you
the
like?
answer?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not right now.
Would you rather
Daddy's
have
podcast.
a boiled egg,
cold eggs? Okay,
or
I do appreciate
sunny
it.
side up?
All right, this is from Jessica Frey.
Hold on.
Number 2.
Okay.
I will say this is a very original idea. We get a lot of ideas that are like, hey, we've talked about this 12 times before, but maybe this is the right spin for it. We've never talked about anything like this. This is Rob and Akiva's Need a Podcast. She says, hi, Rob and Akiva, I'm whelmed. Because we asked everyone when they write in to tell us how they're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica.
Anyways, I have an interesting idea for you to put on the wheel. The premise of the idea is Akiva finds 5 other people named Akiva. It's random. You do an Instagram search. Obviously, the other Akivas would have to be over 18. What am I doing with them that they have to be over 18? They're on the podcast. You interview the other Akivas, hear their origin stories, maybe play a game with the other Akivas. I got this idea because one time I followed everyone named Jessica Frey on TikTok. I always wondered what would happen if we were in a group chat. This idea could work well with Rob's too. I would posit it would be much easier to find Rob's. I hope this is a good idea. It could lead to fun banter. Do you want to have just 5 other Akivas on the podcast? And I wouldn't be married to 5. Let's say it was 3 or something.
3 other Akivas and 3 other Robs.
Robs versus Akivas. What if we did Family Feud? I found 3 Akivas, you found 3 Robs.
Mm-hmm.
We played Family Feud or something like that, or some other game.
I look forward to seeing screenshots of the DMs you have to send these Akivas and Robs.
Yeah.
Here's a fun idea I have, fellow namesake.
Akiva, what? No, not you.
A mess.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a podcast. Basically, there's a wheel. It's so hard to explain always.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, anyway, this is a good bit. We need more Akivas.
I think this
feel
is
like I could
cute.
find Akivas.
I don't know what we're doing with them.
You don't like Akivas versus Robs? Like I found 3 Akivas, you found 3 Robs, and we played some sort of game. Maybe it was Family Feud. Maybe it was another similar type
Akiva,
or something.
my question to you is, what if one of the Akivas ends up shining really bright? And then everyone is like, listen, this Akiva is different gravy. We want more of this
2.0.
Yeah.
New hotness.
Interesting.
I didn't think about that. That is a good question. I feel like it's
Something
less
you
likely
should
I would
be
replace
concerned
Rob
about.
also. Yeah. It's true.
I mean, apparently there are people that don't like either of you on the podcast.
I know that's
They
a
say,
good
we'll
point.
take these
That's a
two.
good point.
They'd be like, yes, we found them.
I much
We'll take
prefer
this Rob and this Akiva.
new Rob and new Akiva.
Yeah.
So I think this was a fun mailbag idea,
Definitely
but
a very fun pitch.
But I think that sort of like the peak of this idea is just hearing it.
Yeah, I think a lot of ideas. The peak is hearing it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think it's fun.
Okay.
Number 3.
Okay. This is from. I hate when here, Rob. Have you heard about quiet quitting?
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about quiet quitting recently.
Mm-hmm.
Rob and Akiva spin the wheel and take 1 week off. The episode released next week is just the second wheel spin. Okay, that's an idea.
Okay.
You don't know what quiet quitting is, Noam? What is it? What's quiet quitting? Somebody what? But what? But what? How's it quiet then? So they quit their job, but they don't like tell their boss, because then the boss will keep sending them paychecks. That's pretty smart, honestly.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Well, but you're still there. I think in quiet quitting, if it's an office job, you stay and go to the office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are there in person, but you're not giving it your all every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the real number 3.
Okay.
This is from David Schwartz, and the idea is called Honey Roast.
Okay.
Hi, Rob and Akiva. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Kind of tired. It's almost midnight. I wanted to pitch an idea for the 200th episode. I agree that you shouldn't be roasted. It's been done before. I think you should do a honey roast, which essentially just compliments. Andy Samberg did this during a real roast. Really, you just deserve a lot of praise, and this is an opportunity to do so. I love RAANAP, RHAP, NGOG, and 32 fans. Thank you.
So, who are we complimenting?
I think it's like
people are writing into talking about how good we are.
Funnier than Rob Cesternino. Jenny's like, guys, but it's like it's a roast, so that's like a joke, but it's nice. We did this on NGOG, so I do like that David is just trying to start trouble. He said he's a fan of NGOG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of a honey roast, but I don't think we could do it. I think it's been done already.
but they're jokes that are nice.
It's nice jokes. It's like, Rob, you're so smart. Then I don't know. I was bad at the honey roast. That's another thing.
Sarcastic roast.
It's like a sarcastic roast. Yeah.
Andy Samberg did do this at one of the roasts. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was James Franco's.
Yeah, the Franco roast. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Franco
right.
roast,
Yeah. So, I mean, it has to be done well, and I think only a certain kind of person can pull it off and have it also be funny. So I think that's where it's like challenging.
How did it go when you did it on NGOG?
Well, I had no plan. Allie was like, let's just do the honey roast, but I hadn't really prepared. So
what did you honey roast? Each other?
I think yes, but I did very poorly.
Yeah.
It didn't go well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I don't feel like we don't need people to talk about how great we are. It's fine.
No.
Yeah. What are you holding up?
I don't know. Noam just handed me eggs and a whole plate of pretzels.
But isn't it like very late at night for you?
Okay.
Midnight snack.
Is that a combination that I've never heard
of? It's very late at night. Yeah, I've never heard of this combination.
Eggs and pretzels.
What made you think, Noam, of eggs and pretzels together?
Protein and carbs.
It's so nice. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not a big pretzels fan. Have you ever seen me eating pretzels before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you said I ate a whole bag. But all right, fine. I don't love pretzels. I just eat them when they're there.
You were snitched on.
Mm-hmm. Said,
One
yeah,
time
exactly,
you ate a whole bag.
Yeah.
So
anyway, why? So you ask why my kids are awake at midnight. Rob, it's not a school night, and they're very jet lagged. They just got back 24 hours ago from a 52-day non-vacation. It was not anybody call it a vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they were away for 52 days, and they came back, and they're very jet lagged, and they don't know what's up, what's down. They just went to a midnight pool party, or I guess it's over now at midnight, but they were at a pool party. And now they're hanging out
with other jet lagged people.
Actually, some of the other kids were jet lag because a lot of people were like in New York for the summer. But then I think it was like a special occasion. It's the last Saturday night. Next week they start school on the 1st. So like this is the last because Sunday is a school day here. So this is the last Saturday night they have.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So that was number 3. We haven't put anything on the wheel yet today.
Number 4.
This is from Patrick, and it's called Rob and Akiva's 2023 pool. He says, hey, guys, ever heard of a dead pool? It's sort of a twisted idea where people make bets on which celebrities will die in a given year. I don't want you to do that idea. That's good. It doesn't seem like up Rob's alley. It seems a little dark for a nap. But
what, you would be up for the dead pool?
So I used to like them when I was a kid.
More of a 32 fans idea.
It is more of a 232 fans. I think it's too mean. It's like that's somebody's grandpa, unless it's like monsters, you're just like betting on Zsa Zsa Gabor to die or something. Like, to me, it just seems rude, It's not nice. You wouldn't want to be in a dead pool. You wouldn't want to be included. So don't include others. He says, I think the concept of you placing bets at the end of 22 or beginning of 2023 on prospective things that could be fun, and then we could track the whole year. So here's some examples. Which celebrities will get canceled? Which RAANAP star will make the most appearances? Will Bumblebee make an appearance in the new Transformers movie? Keeping with the death theme, you could relate to scripted movies, TV. You could make bets on all sorts of things. People could send in ideas, and if the two of you argue, you could make a bet. The 2023.
How about this? Why don't this feels like a last mailbag of the year mini game more than an episode.
Okay.
Patrick, we talked about hey, send us mini games to do instead of the one of the 5 ideas. This feels like if there was like a curated list of ideas. I don't want to talk about what celebrities are going to get canceled. I feel like that's like teetering on. This is supposed to be a fun show.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like that if there were like a list of like fun questions to try to guess, that feels like something that we can do in a mailbag, but not a whole episode.
Fair enough.
Okay. One more?
Right. One more.
Number 5.
This will be like 5A. This is from Zach Brooks because I like the name. Not the name Zach Brooks. That's a pretty normal name, but the name of his title I did.
The Zach Brooks? Yeah.
The Zach Brooks. He says, Scorsese or Scorsese 3. He says, watch Martin Scorsese films at 3X or 4X. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. I'm finally caught up on RAANAP. So classic films at 3X. I don't think we're really.
Didn't you guys just say that you're?
What was the title again? What was the title again?
Yes, I'm not actually considering it. If you have a clever name or a name that makes me laugh, I will read the idea. Martin Scorsese 3, and it's 3X.
No, Scorsese is
Scorsese.
better.
But I'll tell you the problem, Puya. Yeah. We just watched those movies on 4X. I think 3X is better than 4X. But I agree the name.
You could watch 4 of them at 3, but that's also like 4 intense movies to watch at 3.
Scorsese 3. Yeah. 4 of them at 3X.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This
is from Taiwan Jake. It's called Rob and Akiva RHAP Geography. RHAP Geography. We may have to work on the
what's the
geography? Okay. It's a geography.
Geography. Okay.
I'm doing fine, thanks. He says. Rob and Akiva host a quiz show ostensibly about wild but true facts about other countries with non-weekly listeners. The facts are not completely not about a country and are actually about someone's getting in trouble in the background. I'm sorry, and are actually about Long Island. The first guest that calls BS on the quiz wins the round, and 2 more guests come in. The winners go head to head in a quiz all about your hometown. Can't imagine a more perfect RAANAP geography than one that's just about your hometown you always talk about. First of all, neither of us really talk about our hometown. We talk about Long Island, which is like a big place.
Wait, I'm so confused. And guests are coming in,
but they're like not.
So it's not listeners, guests, okay? Non-listener guests. And then like basically it's a little bit like the episode we did the schmuck. We're like tricking them and asking them questions. And whichever one realizes that we're tricking them first wins the round, basically is what he's saying. It's very confusing.
Very confusing.
And this also does not have to be about geography. It could really be about almost anything where we're tricking them. We're asking questions and the answers are wrong. It could be movie trivia, it could be TV trivia, it could be world news. But basically, we're lying to them.
Yeah. I don't think this is the idea we're looking for. I'm looking at the wheel. I'm wondering if we should put "Would you rather" idea on the wheel, because I feel like that the wheel's looking pretty emaciated.
So I have two things about that. One is I like the idea. let's put next week 1A in the mailbag. Would you rather? If we're still feeling it a week from now, we'll do it. I feel like some weeks we like it in the moment or don't like it in the moment. Let's see how we feel about it 7 days from now. And if so, we could put it on the wheel and it'll just go straight on. It won't have to wait.
People might be able to punch it up too.
Yeah,
right?
and people,
like
that's a good point, Jenny. Yeah,
commenters might be able to like, yeah.
And also, we have like 8 ideas in a form. I was just a little focused on this episode, so I never sent it in a form. But we have a lot of ideas that are like waiting at the doorstep to go in. So even though the wheel is thin, it should be boosted next week.
Yeah, we're looking at the wheel. You got too skinny. You're too thin. Add something.
Always complaining about.
Yeah, my grandfather, my step grandma, once said, like the week before my bar mitzvah, said, "We're not going to give you your bar mitzvah present until you gain some weight. You're too thin."
Yeah.
And then I spent the next 25 years, I guess, gaining weight just to like, I don't know. It was a wild move to like say to a little kid, "You're too skinny." I don't think I was that skinny. Anyway, let's spin the wheel.
Yeah. Challenge to the listeners. Can you come up with an idea for Rob and Akiva play naked Tetris? Puya, you ever hear of naked Tetris?
Are the naked ones the pieces, or it's playing 1v1 Tetris, but you're in the nude?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
This is the
Jenny and I, very wholesome people, assumed it was just playing Tetris, but Rob and Puya, they think
no. I came up with the idea of the phallic shapes of the blocks and stuff, and or bodies in position.
Yeah.
And...
Do you call those C blocks, Jenny?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about what's on the wheel. Season 3, episode 7. It would be a good time for that, right, Akiva?
Yes, I would be up for that.
Okay. Coin flip. The crappy movie diaper. Guest choice. Oops, all mailbag. Oh, we'd be dying for oops, all mailbag.
We could use that this week, sure.
Listener choice. I literally just told you, RAANAPers Gone Wild. Rob and Akiva need a catchphrase. Jenny, are you ready?
It's not eligible. It's not eligible this week.
Not eligible.
We're saving it for a few weeks from now.
Well, okay, that's really gonna make the wheel even skinnier.
One less thing.
Earbuds. The lying episode.
Yep.
Wheel of Podcasters. We're still doing that?
Why not?
That one guy on Reddit will be happy. Then we have Does Nicole Know It?
That's great. I'm excited about that.
Okay. And then that's it. Okay. All right. By the way, episode 200 is officially going to be 10 episodes away.
Yeah, let's next week. Well, I'll make a note. Let's talk about.
Are we going? 200 is the big one, or 250?
I think 200 is a big one. I think you could do both.
You do both? No, I think we either celebrate 200 or 250, right, Puya?
I mean, sure, because 250 is a quarter way to 1,000. But at the same time, the little milestones need some love.
I think 200 is like a tip of a cap, and then 250 we do the big thing. But you can't.
I think 200's a big thing.
What are we, Jasmine? How many times are we going to celebrate every?
Well, Rob, if you think about it, though,
50s. Just do the rounded 100.
I think Jenny's right. I think 200's bigger than 250.
Okay, that's fine.
50,
but it's just one or the other.
Later, though,
we just have to commit it. Yeah.
Because then if you just do 250, then you're not going to celebrate again till 500.
Oh,
right.
True.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree.
I think you just
every
do 100, 200, 300.
Okay.
Now for episode 100, we did a lot. We had like a roast. We did. We had a Royal Rumble. I think we had like 4 major things on episode 100.
Yeah. Okay.
I think for 200, we should have 200 guests come on.
Oh dear Lord.
Okay.
We're playing trivia. Me and Rob versus 200 people in some sort of game.
Okay. Well, we have 10,
like
we have 10 episodes to think
Rumble,
about. Okay.
Like
we have 10
live, people come in. And
let's see what's going to come up in episode 190. Okay. Oh, it is season 3, episode 7.
Okay, haven't done it in a while.
All right, here, hold on. Let me go and let me get the fishbowl.
The fishbowl. I will read while Rob is doing that. I will read the names of the shows. We have Gilligan's Island. We have Gilmore Girls. We have Who's the Boss, where we finally find out who the boss is. Early Edition, Frasier, Full House, Sister, Sliders. I think Phil. Herman's Head. I don't even remember
Phil put
what
in
that
Sliders?
Is. I think Phil was the one who wanted sliders. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think does that sound like I'm assuming Phil was born, but I think he would have to have been like a baby during the time that Sliders was on television.
Herman's Head. I don't think we were alive when that was on. I don't even know what that is. That must Rob. Was that you put on Herman's Head?
I mean, I did not say let's put Herman's Head in the season 3 episode 7 Fishbowl, but I don't know where we could even find Herman's Head.
Pretty Little Liars.
It was a show that used to be on Fox, like after The Simpsons. It was probably like came on like 1988.
Why is that on there?
I don't know. I'm
taking it off. I don't remember putting it on there. Maybe. I mean, I wonder if Will could slide something onto the sheet, and I would never know.
Speaking of sliders, yeah. Okay,
fine. Take that off, and then Monday Night Raw, and Pretty Little Liars.
Should we? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What do we got?
All right. I have a ball in my hand.
I'm so excited.
All right. And the season 3, episode 7. What was the last one we did? Desperate Housewives?
We did one with one of the Matts at some point. I don't know. I'm not a historian of this show.
Okay. All right. It is Akiva's Choice.
Oh, wow. I forgot that was even in there.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Akiva's Choice. Yeah.
No pressure.
By the way, Doogie Howser was the last season 3, episode 7 we did.
Okay.
Too Hot to Handle. That was like sort of a season 3.
We already did season 3, episode 7 of Too Hot to Handle.
I'm saying the most recent ones we've done, and Desperate Housewives. Those are the 3 we've done in like the last year. And Sopranos with Nicole.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be, Kiwi?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rob, do you have any? Listen, I'm a man of the people. We got 3 other people here. Is there anything? What would the listeners?
Can you give the choices one more time?
Yeah, Gilligan's Island, Gilmore Girls, Who's the Boss?
I feel like we took Gilligan's Island out like 4 times. Okay, keep going.
It got Full House, Sister, that's with Chappelle, Sliders, Herman's Head, Pretty Little Liars, and Monday Night Raw. I actually have. I think I know what people would. I think there's 2 that I think would be most popular. Full House and Pretty Little Liars. I think would be people would like. Anybody think I'm wrong or have a take?
Well, I think Early Edition might be interesting.
No, but here's the problem. I like that was one of my ideas. I watched that show.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it is.
Well, that's why it might be interesting.
No one really knows what Early Edition is.
Yeah.
That's like one for us more than the listeners if we do it.
Jenny or Puya, you have any thoughts?
Any of those 3, I'm fine with.
I don't know what Early Edition is.
It's a show where a guy gets tomorrow's newspaper.
Kyle Chandler,
today.
who Akiva famously said he could beat up.
Oh, Coach Taylor. It's very like poorly shot and sort of like dark.
He gets a newspaper every day. Did it go 3 seasons? Early Edition?
I think it did. Yeah, we checked.
Yeah, it went 4 seasons.
Yeah, he gets the newspaper a day early, and then sometimes ittle be like.
It'd be like if you got RAANAP a day before we recorded it.
But sometimes the paper will be like, man gets shot, like 7 people die, whatever. And then it's like prevented from happening. And some days I assume it's just like, I would just go straight to the sports and be like, all right, how do I like make the Jets win?
I like the name of the episode. So I feel like I want to vote Early Edition.
What's the name of the episode?
Upchuck.
Upchuck. All
I
right.
don't know what that means, but I'm intrigued.
It's Akiva's Choice.
Yeah.
Jenny, do you have a take?
I honestly, I have not watched most of these shows. So
do you agree Full House was probably the most like mainstream?
Full House, yes. Full House, I think, is probably the most well-rounded option that like most people have watched or care about at least.
Full House season 3 episode 7 I think is and they call it Puppy Love. I want to see they get the dog. Yeah,
I think so. I remember that episode actually.
Yeah, a dog walks into the Tanner's house and Joey and the girls like her and want to keep her, but Danny doesn't like dogs and Jesse doesn't like her because she keeps going on his bed.
All right, Rob, you want to do Early Edition?
I feel like that Full House it would, I just feel like it's been covered. I don't know what new we're gonna say about it. Early Edition might give us some interesting things to talk about. You
all right, let's do
Yeah, you want to let the listen. You want to? I'll grant you this. You want to let the listeners vote?
Yeah, perfect. I'll do a poll. So the poll is early edition, Full House.
Full House is going to win in a landslide. Yeah,
you think so? Should we put Monday Night Raw on there or no?
I feel like that we said it was going to be SmackDown. We were going to do instead of.
Okay. All right. So I won't put it in, and I'll ask. I think Matt will remember.
Yeah.
And then what is early edition, Full House? And what was the third one I said? Pretty Little Liars. I think that people might vote for that. All right. How about this, though?
Yeah.
Is this stupid? Because I think early edition is going to have trouble in the poll.
Yeah.
I think early edition's total gets doubled. How about that? Whatever its total is, we double it.
Akiva, if you just want to do early edition, it's literally your choice.
Zero people want it. Like if it gets 6%, all right, it's at 12, it loses. But if it gets to like 21, it might win, you know? That's, to me, that makes sense.
I feel like, what is it accessible in any way? Like, is it on any streaming service?
Yeah, I'm sure we could find it. We've never not been able to find a show. Urban's Head, I think, would be a problem, but yeah, I'm sure we can find it.
I'm sure we could get like Dominic or Anthony to weigh in on the Full House. They watch
That's
it
true.
constantly. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, we could get our kids like takes. That's true.
All
right, so we'll do a poll. I'll put that poll will be up Monday afternoon.
All right, that's gonna be episode 190. All right, Jenny, you're finally free after 3 hours plus of a nap today. What are you gonna do next?
What am I going to do next? I'm probably going to just talk more claim to fame.
Podcast. Yes. Okay.
Just podcasting more.
What else do you have going on?
Well, I will be appearing on this week's Big Brother B&B with Mike and Liana. So that is coming up and possibly posted by the time this is posted. I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
No, this is going up tonight, baby.
Okay. Well, then check that out in the next 24 hours at some point. We're recording tomorrow morning.
It's almost like we got it a day early.
Whoa.
I think we may have to pay $10 to watch early edition.
No, Puya already found the link on YouTube. Puya, I think Puya's into it.
Puya moves fast, okay?
Puya, did you
not streaming?
Are you an early edition fan, Puya? You seem
not
like,
at all.
Yeah.
He'd never heard of
it,
right?
and then it was the third link.
Yeah,
he is now.
The early edition YouTube channel has uploaded the entire thing on their YouTube channel.
Wow.
I can't believe they haven't copyrights, considering it's
they
not
just want
streaming
someone
anywhere.
to watch it.
Someone please watch our show.
It's for free.
House Chandler himself says it sucks. So
perfect.
Yeah, I believe we'll get into it next week, but I believe he's not a No, I think what it was the guy who made Friday Night Lights didn't want to cast him because the show was so bad.
Yeah.
Jason Katims or who was the showrunner, whoever it was. Anyway, you want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah. All right. Puya, you got any thing we should check out?
Find me on Twitter at Puyism, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Puya. I did guest on the Mess Magnets podcast this past week. I've been talking Big Brother Friday mornings. That's been a lot of fun. 90 Day just concluded with season 9, but we have the new season.
We're going to kick off a new season
coming in. Rob will be there to guest with me, so it'll be a fun premiere. Other than that, thanks for having me. I feel like I accidentally stumbled in here, but I'm happy.
This is we were talking earlier in the episode how sometimes I'll send very random DMs to people. This was like me just DMing Puya in the middle of the day, and then he ended up on the second half of the episode. Puya, speaking of 200s and 100s, you're gonna have your 100th stream soon.
Have you thought about stream?
Your 100th Among Us stream. Your 100th.
Yes. We're on 94 right now.
Have you thought about having 100 people play that day on that stream?
Akiva, with like 15, 16 people, it's a shambles. 100 people.
But I think he's saying like you cycle through people.
Yeah, it's like 10 at a time.
So that you get 100 people play at some point.
That
sounds like a coordination nightmare.
Yeah, I'd have to see if I've had 100 people play before to see if they would all be down and then B coordinate.
I think it's an idea.
You can consult Akiva because he's probably got relatives of some of these people that might be like around and willing to play because he's been contacting all sorts of strangers.
Got Chester's brother for you.
Yeah,
Lindsay from the Oregon Trail.
Akiva in his ambitious bag. I love it.
Yeah. All right, then. Puya, thank you for stopping by today. Akiva, what else do you have going on these days?
Past Akiva did a huge favor to future Akiva, which was Chester and I recorded all the 32 Fans team episodes like weeks in advance, except for the final few where we make our like season predictions. So those just keep coming out, even though we haven't done them in like a week or two now. So those are coming out. NGOG will be back at some point. We don't know when. And then I don't know. Plug the Sunday football, the Bucks against the Rams on September 10th.
Okay. All right. Coming up just in a couple of weeks, Nicole's birthday. All right. And then
the 11th this Sunday. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Then, of course, check out me and Jenny Autumn talking about the real claim to fame for a couple more weeks as we wrap up season 1. What did we learn today? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Episode number 189. Today, we learned that tracking down the loved ones of some of our podcast friends can be more challenging than trying to win at Naked Tetris.
Rob, today we learned that if you're the best man at someone's wedding, make sure to carry around an extra gas can at all times, just in case.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.